looking at here?
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from cryptid sightings to glitches in our matrix that may just leave you shocked, yet craving more. Ready? Let's jump in. Starting today's clip, we got a rather strange one. Take a look. What do you reckon that is? A dog, wolf, pig, or fish? In fact, it looks like a combination of all these creatures, and it's got many talking. We're not told where this was recorded or what this thing is, but there are a number of individuals who think we're dealing with a science project leaked to the public. They think there's someone in a secret lab somewhere, splicing and combining DNA from various animals to create the ultimate animal. While that sounds like some fine line of reasoning, it doesn't sound realistic. If anyone was aiming at creating the ultimate animal based on what we see, I can only say that the individual succeeded in creating the ultimate abomination. I mean, just look at it. The only logical explanation for this is that it's AI generated. While it's easy to tell this one is AI, you have to wonder and ask how long AI will continue to look like this. If we have learned anything, it only takes a few months for AI to move from looking totally unrealistic to totally believable. When we get there, we will be back again to pick up this discussion. Moving on to something more realistic, we've got tracks that were discovered near the Meek Cabin Mountains. You see these footprints, don't you? Just at first glance, you can tell that although those prints look human, they are in no way human dimensions. The individual who discovered these prints stated that this wasn't the first time his family had come into contact with such prints near the Meek Cabin Mountains. The area has long been described as a Bigfoot hotspot, and although he himself hadn't seen a Bigfoot in the area, his sister had. The experience was allegedly so serious and so traumatizing for the lady that she's refused to talk about it. For a Bigfoot enthusiast, seeing the big guy will be nothing more than a dream come true. Any silence would be in awe and not in fear. For the ordinary person, however, the response would be one of shock and fear. This is probably what's happened to his sister. How can we be sure she really saw a Bigfoot? Well, most individuals who've been to the area describe seeing such a being there. And it was not just a hearsay kind of thing. There were always footprints belonging to a huge being or creature there, just like seen in the capture. What do you guys think though? Real or not? Let me know in the comment section.
I don't know what the fuck this is rolling around in this water.
There ain't nothing there.
But you don't see anything.
I went away.
And then it just stopped. What the fuck was that?
Now, this is something you don't see every day. At first glance, I thought this had to be AI, but the individual who posted it insisted it was real and there were actually individuals trying to explain it away. One individual even posted, "This usually happens when the elements of the distributed oxygen amongst the perpetual nucleus generates chemicals to react to such abnormal hypothesis, segregating in unique formation that utilizes the recalculated stigmatisms that articulately understands patterns of the strategic non-placement of the reconstruction of the general systematic patterns of the geological restoration of the H2O that's transparent to visual effects of circulatory motion." When I saw this, I believed this was the explanation, although I didn't understand a word it was saying. So I walked toward Julius, showing him the video, and started to explain using the same words this lad used. Julius took a second to look at me and respectfully told me I had spoken gibberish. What I had said made no scientific sense. That hurt my soul. It's easier to have him look down on me for not knowing, but for him to do so because I said a lot of wrong stuff hurt in a way I didn't know was possible. It turned out there were others who called out the individual for typing things that was not true, but I missed it because I was so preoccupied with showing off to Julius. Whatever the case, you shouldn't believe everything you see on the internet, even if it sounds smart.
What the fuck this is? Rolling around in this water. There ain't nothing there. But you don't see anything. I went away.
Ooh, a fairy. Wait, actually, what the hell? Guys, that does not look like an ordinary bug. Okay, I'm catching this fairy, bro. What the frick? Yo, hell no!
This clip was recorded by a young lady who was sitting out in a yard one night with her friends. What was supposed to be an ordinary night out with friends became something rather extraordinary. You see it, don't you? The glowing creature flying around the yard. Aside from glowing, it was also darting and bouncing around, making it hard to make out its exact features. Yet for one undeniable characteristic, it was glowing. It wasn't tiny either to be described as a bug, which adds to the intrigue. Sure, some fireflies can create a similar effect, but the person who captured this footage swears that what she saw was a fairy. It looked more like it had a humanoid body than that of a bug. If you're familiar with this channel and our paranormal content, then you know what we used to think were only fairy tales are now becoming more of a reality. Many people have come forward with accounts and footage of encountering creatures we once thought never existed. This clip is no different, but the big question on everyone's mind is this actually real? What say you?
Actually, what the hell? Guys, that does not look like an ordinary bug. Okay, I'm catching this fairy, bro. What the frick? Yo, hell no!
A resident in a neighborhood was out one night when he noticed something unusual. Above one of the buildings, there was a green light, and from this green light were green lasers moving back and forth across the sky. The first thing that came to the minds of many was that this was some sort of UFO activity. The way the lasers move, the intensity of the green light, and the sheer strangeness of the scene make this theory probable. Some members of the paranormal platform, however, believe that this is nothing more than a drone equipped with lasers. Perhaps someone was using it for a light show or some sort of event. Drones can perform incredible light displays, and with the increasing accessibility of a high-tech drone, it's plausible that this could be an elaborate setup by a tech enthusiast or an artist. What do you make of this? Is it just a drone with lasers, or could it be something more otherworldly? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Next up is our bonus segment. Your answers in our previous segments have just been on point and we're still compiling. But I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to have you guys guessing what this thing is. I have a lot to say, but I won't. Take a look at this for a few seconds and let me know what you think. I can't wait to read your responses. So I've heard of every living creature having its own unique sounds and frequency. What I didn't expect was to one day wake up to individuals recording music or sounds from plants. Confused? Well, watch this.
You ever heard what a lavender plant sounds like? Let's take a listen.
So this lady approaches the lavender plant, connects a couple of wires, and we get to hear music that's coming from the plant. I was very ready to come on here and type a fake. After some research, however, I had a change of mind and heart. There's actually a technology out there that's capable of this, and the most prominent of these is PlantWave. The technology works by converting plant biorhythms into music. Sensors or wires are attached to the plant, and then the PlantWave technology detects the changes in the plants based on the moving water around. These are then graphed and then translated into pitch and then run through instruments designed by the firm, which gives the music we hear from the plants. It's a tad complex, but hopefully I was able to capture the essentials in this explanation. Now tell me, what plant would you want to try this technology on? Don't be shy, I would be reading the comments. One of the most fascinating theories that still amazes me to this day is the flat Earth theory. If the Earth is indeed flat, then what we know about day and night would be completely different. Someone created a setup to demonstrate how day and night could work on a flat Earth. They had a candle tied on wheels and then placed a see-through glass between the wheeled cradle and a camera positioned lower on the glass. When the candle is wheeled away from the glass, it looks like the flame is going lower from the camera's point of view, and when it's wheeled toward the glass, it looks like it's moving upward. However, a commenter pointed out some critical flaws in this demonstration. I must say that the user has a point. We see the sun from different points around the world, and in real life, we don't visibly see the sun move, and the size of the sun remains the same at every point of the day. This setup mimics how the sun rises and sets according to flat Earth proponents. While the demonstration is thought-provoking, the overwhelming scientific evidence supports a spherical Earth. Even so, this demonstration tickles my curiosity. What about you? What do you make of this setup? Archaeologists have made a jaw-dropping discovery in Egypt, a pharaoh with a reptilian face. This creature, said to have a leathery texture to its skin, has led them to believe that it's not a statue but an actual being. This creature stands an astonishing 9 feet tall and has a wound under its left armpit, which archaeologists believe must have been the cause of its death. This fascinating find was uncovered in an unmarked grave in the Valley of the Kings, a place known for its rich history and royal burials. The implications of this discovery are enormous. Could this be proof of reptilian beings on Earth? For years, theories about reptilian creatures, often linked to myths and conspiracy theories, have been floating around. This find could potentially validate those stories. Either way, the discovery raises many questions. Who was this creature? How did it come to be buried in the Valley of the Kings? What was its role in ancient Egyptian society? And most intriguingly, could there have been more of these beings living among humans in the past? Some tourists were out in Hawaii when they came across something odd in the sky. As you can see, whatever it is, it was saucer-shaped but not flat. It was thick. The object hovered high above them, capturing everyone's attention. With so many recent reports and clips of UAVs, it's becoming harder to dismiss these sightings as mere illusions or misidentified objects. There are some who believe that these could be advanced military technologies being tested, while others are convinced that they're evidence of extraterrestrial life visiting our planet. The shape and behavior of the object, along with the witnesses' accounts, fuel the ongoing debate about what these sightings truly represent. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, such accounts always leave room for wonder and speculation. So what's your take on this? What do you think is going on here? Coming across stones arranged like that by the seaside is already intriguing, but what's mind-boggling is that some of the stones are actually moving mid-air. There's even a large stone floating with smaller stones rotating around it. What in the world is this? Some might think this is a clever illusion, perhaps even some advanced technology at work. Others wonder if it's evidence of something supernatural or otherworldly. As intriguing as those may sound, let's not forget that many advancements in special effects and video editing. In today's digital age, creating such illusions on camera is entirely possible. That's my take, though. What do you think? If you have ophidiophobia or the fear of snakes, consider this your cue to move to the next clip. If you don't and want to watch anyway, then be my guest. Here's a stunning close-up of a reticulated python, one of nature's most awe-inspiring creatures. Fascinating, yet scary. Julius confirmed that this was not CGI, which makes me a tad uncomfortable. Like, why would you be moving near a snake that big? Julius thinks it might be a pet, but I don't know about that. For those seeing this for the first time, the reticulated python, known for its intricate, mesmerizing scale pattern, is the longest snake in the world, capable of reaching lengths of 20 feet. In this close-up, you can see the intricate details of its scales, each one reflecting light in a way that highlights the beautiful reticulated pattern from which it gets its name. The scales shimmer with hues of gold, brown, and black, creating a camouflage that blends seamlessly with the forest floor. These pythons are native to the rainforests, woodlands, and grasslands of southeastern Asia. Their striking appearance is not just for show, it's an adaptation that allows them to blend into their surroundings, making them formidable ambush predators. They rely on their powerful constricting abilities to subdue prey, which can range from small animals to birds. This is why the thought of it being a pet worries me. This looks like a neighborhood that might have kids. What happens when the snake decides to want something a bit more, a human? Next, we've got these strange pixel-like patches of light in the sky that have everyone talking. It's an eerie and captivating sight, leaving us to wonder, what are we looking at? They could be an unusual atmospheric or weather phenomenon. For instance, certain cloud formations, light reflections, or interactions with atmospheric particles can create odd visual effects, especially when artificial lights from the ground interact with weather conditions in specific ways. Could it be something more extraordinary, like a display of unidentified flying objects? While UFO sightings often come with stories of mysterious lights in the sky, another intriguing possibility is that these lights are the result of a light show or laser display. Advances in technology might have it possible to create stunning visual effects in the sky using lasers and drones. Many in our paranormal community do not, however, think that's the case. What say you? Passenger flying over the enigmatic Area 51 captured this fascinating sight below. Amidst the barren desert landscape, they spotted a mountain-like structure that stood out against the rugged terrain. As much as I would want to confirm their thoughts of it being alien, what they witnessed was none other than the Mud Springs volcano. Yeah, at least that's what the government and its scientists want us to believe. The Mud Springs volcano, a dormant volcanic formation, rises prominently in the area. Its rugged slopes and unique geological features make it a striking landmark in this mysterious region. Despite its dormancy, the volcano's presence adds to the intrigue of the already secretive and heavily guarded Area 51. Area 51 is a place shrouded in secrecy and the subject of numerous conspiracy theories. It's known for its association with UFO sightings and classified military projects. So could there be more to this volcano, or is this all there is to it?
Officially freaked the fuck out, okay? This is my charger. Fast charger, got it on Amazon. It's got the little side thing, black. This is my charger, okay? I took my cord out of my charger like I do every single day when I go to pick up the kids. I wrapped up my cord, put it in my purse, put this on top of my Q-tip jar in my vanity like I do every single day. I take my card with me in the car to plug in the car charger, so I don't need this. And then when I come home, I get it off the Q-tip thing, whatever, so on and so forth. I turned around and went back to my purse, and I saw... Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, I'm shaking. I'm freaked out. And I saw this. Look at it. Same exact charger. But I don't have another one of these. I grabbed it and I went, what? I just put that over there. And then I went back to go sit it down thinking I thought something different, and there's two. And I don't have two. I don't have two of these.
This woman found another charger in her purse after taking one out, and now she has two, but she insists she never bought an extra one. This mysterious occurrence, often referred to as glitches in the matrix, are becoming more common. People report finding duplicates of items like chargers, keys, or even pieces of clothing without any explanation for where the extras came from. Skeptics might argue that these incidents are simply cases of forgetfulness or coincidence. Perhaps the woman did buy an extra charger at some point and simply forgot about it. Or maybe it was a gift that slipped her mind. However, the growing number of similar stories makes us wonder if something more unusual is happening. Many individuals in the community believe these occurrences are indeed glitches. One comment that caught my eye was this particular one. Am I the only one who finds the comment funny and brilliant? Hopefully it gave you a good laugh.
Something different, and there's two. And I don't have two. I don't have two of these.
Next, we've got an interesting discovery made in the middle of nowhere. The ground appears to be dried clay with a spiral drawn on it. Surrounding the spiral were mirrors with white frames, except for one. In all the mirrors, you could see the reflection of the mirror opposite it, except in the black framed mirror. The only thing reflecting in that one was the clay ground. The spiral is a symbol often associated with spiritual journeys, cycles, and transformation. Its presence here suggests that whoever created this arrangement might be invoking or channeling some form of energy or intention. The mirrors, reflecting each other, create an infinite loop, a visual effect that could symbolize the endless nature of certain mystical concepts, such as time, consciousness, or the universe. The black-framed mirror is particularly unsettling. Its failure to reflect anything but the ground breaks the symmetry and suggests a deeper, perhaps darker purpose. Could this be an area used for witchcraft or black magic? If you have any ideas or have encountered something similar, share your experience and thoughts with us in the comments section. We'll be reading. This mysterious photograph has recently surfaced from an anonymous man in Pagosa Springs, Colorado. The image, taken 13 years ago during a camping trip near Square Top Mountain, depicts a figure that has ignited a wave of speculation among Bigfoot enthusiasts. Captured in the Arapaho and Roosevelt National Forests just west of Denver, the photograph shows a distinct figure amidst the dense wilderness. Shrouded in foliage, the figure's shape and size have led some to believe it could be the elusive Bigfoot, a creature long rumored to inhabit such remote areas. For experts in cryptozoology, the excitement around such sighting hinges on the clarity of the photograph and the details surrounding its capture. The rugged terrain and isolation of Square Top Mountain provide a plausible backdrop for encountering such a legendary creature. The dense forests and expansive wilderness of this region make it an ideal setting for a creature like Bigfoot to remain hidden from human eyes. This man is shaking, clearly in shock, and lodged in his cap is the disc from a cutting wheel. The disc would have gone right into his skull if he hadn't been wearing a cap that day. Just look at how he's trembling. It looks like his life is flashing before his eyes. This close call is a stark reminder of the unpredictable dangers we face daily. The cutting wheel disc, a tool designed for precision and strength, became a potentially lethal projectile in an instant. The cap, A seemingly insignificant piece of clothing turned out to be a lifesaver, preventing a catastrophic injury. As the man stands there shaking, it's easy to imagine the rush of thoughts and emotions running through his mind. In moments like these, people often report a sensation of time slowing down, replaying key moments of their lives as they grapple with the gravity of the situation. Have you ever had a close call that made you reevaluate safety precautions? Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below. Have you heard of the infamous Alpine Loop sighting in Utah? The Alpine Loop, a scenic byway winding through the Uinta-Wasatch National Forest, is renowned for its breathtaking views and natural beauty. But it's also known for something far more mysterious: sightings of unusual lights or objects in the sky. Drivers and hikers along the Alpine route have reported seeing bright lights, unexplained aerial movements, and other strange occurrences that defy easy explanation. In this particular footage, a hiker was exploring the Alpine Loop when he came across something truly astonishing. Moving from afar among the dried-up tall grass was a dark, massive figure towering over the nearby trees. The owner of the footage believes this is a Bigfoot sighting. Given the history of the strange occurrences and unexplained sightings in the Alpine Loop area, this footage adds another layer of intrigue. The possibility of encountering a Bigfoot, a creature that has fueled countless myths and stories, makes the sighting even more captivating. So what are your thoughts? Is this footage genuine evidence of Bigfoot lurking in the Alpine Loop, or could there be another explanation? Have you ever witnessed an abduction before? Not the humankind, I mean an alien abduction. If your answer is no, then today's your lucky day. In this short clip, we see a spacecraft appear and then quickly disappear. If you pay attention to the clip, however, you'll notice that there was a beam just before it disappeared. Many who saw this clip believe that someone was abducted by aliens. What do you think? Anyone who knows anything about the pyramids knows that they have been a subject of speculation, with some thinking they were built by aliens or beings beyond our comprehension. This clip tells a similar story. As impressive as Giza is, there are some speculations of another pyramid in Bosnia known as the Pyramid of the Sun. If you're wondering why you've never heard of it, the answer is simple. It's the size of a mountain and it's covered in vegetation. In fact, no one thought anything of it until an archaeologist realized that the shape of the mountain looked like a pyramid. Aside from the sides and slopes that connect perfectly, an apex which is characteristic of pyramids, this suspected pyramid is also aligned with the true north, which is also another mysterious feature of the pyramids. They also measured EMF readers to the top and recorded readings of up to 60 times what's expected from our planet. Aside from that, it had 4 other hills or mountains around it that archaeologists suspect to be pyramids as well. If you know much about pyramids, then you know this is the norm with them as well. What's more, before the other pyramids were excavated, they were covered with foliage too, just like this one. The difference with this one is its size. The rocks there were carbon dated, and they went back as far as 35,000 years ago. The scientific implications of that are great. One would think a discovery like this would be welcome, but the archaeologists and all who worked on it were discredited and accused of planting evidence to make it look like that. Now, I don't know about you, but I find the whole thing suspicious. Has any of you heard about this alleged pyramid before, and what do you make of it? Take a look at this display of nature's power and terror. Someone captured this breathtaking footage of what appears to be a funnel cloud turning into a tornado. This footage was taken in Chihuahua, Mexico. Imagine standing there, watching as the whirling funnel clouds descends from the sky, gradually touching down and transforming into a full-blown tornado. The raw power and unpredictability of nature in action are both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Tornadoes are one of the most powerful and destructive weather phenomena on Earth, capable of causing immense damage in a matter of minutes. The sight of one forming before your eyes is a stark reminder of the sheer force of nature and how small we are in comparison. Have you ever witnessed a tornado or other extreme weather events in person? Share your experience. Giants are being widely spoken of in various cultures and religions, often surrounded by myths and legends. In Turkey, scientists claim they found skeletal remains of Noah. The discovery includes a massive thigh bone near Mount Ararat, significantly larger than a normal human's. Also in Turkey, there is a jawbone in a museum that dwarfs any modern human jawbone. These findings fuel the ongoing debate about the existence of giants. The Bible talks about the Nephilim, described as giants who lived before and after the Great Flood. In Guam, legends say giants built the Latte stones, massive pillars that still stand today. Then there are the giant rocks in Lebanon, some weighing hundreds of tons, which no known human technology could have moved in ancient times. The list of such stories and artifacts goes on and on. Yet mainstream scientists often dismiss these accounts. They frequently argue that humans are evolving, getting bigger and better over time. However, a glance at biblical texts suggests that humans might have actually devolved, becoming smaller compared to those ancient giants. So who speaks the truth here? Are these stories and artifacts evidence of a forgotten age of giants, or are they simply misunderstood relics of human history? This footage was taken in Orlando, Florida, where a huge blue orb was seen flying by. Just look at it. While many hoaxes and fake videos are circulating online, this one feels different. The way it moves in the vivid blue color is truly mesmerizing and eerie. Could this be a genuine sighting of something otherworldly, or is it just another elaborate trick? Florida's history of sightings and mysterious events only adds to the intrigue. From glowing orbs to unexplained aerial phenomenon, the Sunshine State seems to be a focal point for the unexplained. Florida has had many sightings of strange phenomena over the years, making it a hotspot for UFO enthusiasts and paranormal investigators alike. So my question is, what is going on out there in Florida? Is there some sort of portal or interdimensional gateway, or is there a rational explanation for these sightings? Please share your thoughts. How do you feel about the school system? Before you answer, take a look at this intriguing footage. There's an ant on a white sheet of paper, and a hand holding a black marker draws out barriers on the sheet. The ant always diverts its movements when the barriers are drawn. This simple experiment raises an interesting question. How does this relate to our school system? Just like the ants, students in the school system often encounter barriers that influence their paths. These barriers can take many forms: rigid curricula, standardized testing, societal expectations, or even limited resources. When these barriers are drawn, students are forced to navigate around them, sometimes diverting from their true passions and interests. The ants' behavior in this experiment can be seen as a metaphor for how individuals respond to obstacles placed in their educational journey. Instead of freely exploring and discovering their potential, they may find themselves confined within predetermined boundaries, constantly adjusting their course to fit within the lines drawn by the system. What is your take on this? While walking along a riverbank, an observer captured something truly eerie. It was a pale head with hollow eyes in the water. The entity looked ghostly, moving slowly until it vanished without disturbing the water in any way. This unsettling sight leaves us with more questions than answers. The pale head with hollow eyes suggests something otherworldly, evoking images of spirits and apparitions from folklore and ghost stories. The fact that the water remained undisturbed as the entity moved adds to the mystery and spookiness of the encounter. Could this be a ghost? In many cultures, water is believed to be a conduit for spirits, often serving as a boundary between the physical and spiritual worlds. Ghost sightings near water are not uncommon, and the stillness of the water, despite the entity's movement, could indicate a supernatural presence. TikTok users D's Dark Adventures posted something chilling to her page.
Yeah. Hi. Hi.
In the video, she's gone hiking in the woods in Ohio. As she was deep in the woods, she began to feel uneasy, so she took out her phone and began recording. That's when she saw it. A very tall, dark figure with glowing eyes stood in the shadows. Terrified, she began to run. As she reached a clear field, she looked back and saw the dark figure still pursuing her. Panicked, she screamed and yelled at it, trying to scare it away, but it didn't budge. Luckily, she managed to run out of the woods safely. This encounter is straight out of a horror movie. The tall, dark figure with glowing eyes is reminiscent of numerous folklore and urban legends about shadowy entities that haunt forests and remote areas. Such figures are often described as malevolent spirits, guardians of the woods, or even cryptids. What do you think this dark entity could be?
Hi. Hi.
This strange-looking creature was spotted at night on some muddy grass. At first glance, it resembles a very large salamander, but there are some distinct differences that make it stand out. It has a smooth, pink, hairless body with pronounced wrinkles running down its back. The head is especially unusual, with weird shapes and protrusions that don't match any known animal. It's like something straight out of a science fiction movie, but the footage seems too real to be edited. The way it moves, the light reflecting off its skin, everything about it looks authentic. So here's the big question: what is this creature? Despite searching, I couldn't find anything that matched its description. It doesn't fit into any known category of amphibians or reptiles, and its unique features make it a real mystery. If anyone has seen something like this before or has any idea what it might be, please share in the comments. Here we have yet another strange and mesmerizing creature discovered in the depths of the ocean. This time, we have some information on it. Meet the Alida-Wilami, a marine worm that looks like something straight out of a science fiction movie. The Alida-Wilami is a species of polycut worm, known for its striking appearance and unusual characteristics. Its body is segmented, and it possesses numerous bristles along its sides, which it uses for movements. But what truly sets this creature apart is its otherworldly appearance. With its vibrant colors and almost alien-like structure, it looks like it belongs on a distant planet rather than in our oceans. Polychaete worms like the Alida-Wilami play crucial roles in their ecosystems. They burrow into the seabed, helping to aerate sediment and recycle nutrients. Despite their importance, many of these creatures remain relatively unknown, hidden away in the vast and unexplored depths of the ocean.
Computer processing programs are very good now at reproducing lighting from any angle. So we can use those computer techniques with the actual data.
Now look at something truly out of this world. Over the years, numerous researchers and drones have been deployed to Mars to explore the planet and assess its potential for human habitation. During one such mission, a strange and intriguing discovery was made. Back in 1976, a photograph taken of the Martian surface revealed what appeared to be a face. The original photo wasn't very clear, but it showed some facial features that had people talking. People were skeptical, debating whether it was an actual face or just a trick of light and shadows on the rocky terrain. Years later, scientists revisited the image with more advanced technology to scrutinize it further. This time, they produced a much clearer image that undeniably showed a shape resembling a human face on the planet's surface. The detail was remarkable, and it reignited the debate about what this face could be. Some experts have suggested that the face is simply the result of natural phenomena, perhaps unusual rock formations or shadows cast by the terrain. However, as time had passed, there remains a lingering uncertainty about the original nature of this face. What do you think? Just look at this footage right here. The clouds in the sky appear to be in flames. How is this possible? Well, it's not as impossible as it seems. What you're witnessing is a phenomenon known as a fire rainbow or circumhorizontal arc. This happens when sunlight passes through ice crystals in cirrus clouds high in the atmosphere. The light refracts and creates a spectrum of colors, giving the appearance that the clouds are on fire. These fire rainbows are rare and require very specific conditions to form. The sun has to be high in the sky at an angle of 58 degrees or more, and the ice crystals in the clouds must be plate-shaped and aligned horizontally to refract the light just right. So while it might look like the sky itself is burning, it's actually a stunning optical illusion created by nature. The world keeps getting freakier by the day, just when you thought you'd seen it all.
What the fuck am I looking at?
A woman was driving behind a car when they had to stop for a train to pass by. As they were waiting, something truly bizarre happened. The driver of the car in front of her got out and began walking back and forth, and there was something very unusual about him. He appeared to have a third leg, and no, not what you're thinking, an actual third leg. How is this possible? Is it some form of birth defect, or is the man playing a trick? Because this looks so bizarre, a three-legged man is not impossible, but it's certainly not something you expect to see. The man moved around naturally as if having a third leg was perfectly normal. In rare cases, people can be born with extra limbs due to a condition called polymorphia. These extra limbs are often non-functional and can be surgically removed, but in some cases, individuals choose to keep them. It's also possible that this man was using some kind of device for reasons unknown to the observer. But what do you think?
What the fuck am I looking at here? What the fuck am I looking at?
Meet the galaxy frog. And no, it's not from outer space, although it's a black frog adorned with stunning white spots. This remarkable amphibian is called the galaxy frog. Its unique patterns of white spots scattered across its dark skin make it look like a piece of the night sky brought to life. It's no wonder it's called the galaxy frog. It really does resemble a miniature galaxy, with stars dotting the dark expanse of its body. These frogs are not just a visual marvel, they're also an important part of the ecosystem. Frogs like the galaxy frog play crucial roles in maintaining the health of their habitats by controlling insect populations and serving as indicators of environmental health. Their presence often signals a well-balanced ecosystem. This hazy image was captured on a Trailcam. There appears to be a moving being in the forest. Could it be a human? According to the uploader, who also happens to be the owner of the footage, the camera was placed in a remote area where the presence of humans is highly unlikely. The only reason there would be a human in the footage is as if he was a poacher. That sounds plausible until you start taking the height of whatever this hazy creature is into consideration. Then you realize that there's no way that it could be human. The height of the creature was calculated by considering the objects in the image, including the nearby trees. Guess the height of the creature after the calculations. It stood about 8 feet tall, so it's not your average human size. There are speculations that this could be a Bigfoot, and the height is the dead giveaway. I mean, if it's not a Bigfoot, then what other cryptid could it be roaming the woods in the dead of night? Next, we have something that's not so sinister, yet more common in the woods than we would love to admit. Curious? Take a look at this clip. Yes, that's a deer with only 3 legs, and before you start feeling bad for it, this deer is totally fine and actually thriving. There are, however, some situations where a deer can lose a leg. Unfortunately, in such cases, the chances of survival for the deer are significantly diminished due to risks of infection, blood loss, and other complications. If a deer survives such an encounter and heals up successfully, it can adjust and move freely like any other deer. While they may not be as swift, these resilient deer develop heightened ears and senses compensating for the lost limb. So don't worry, Bambi is living his best life. Next, we have a trail cam that captured something quite unique. Have a look. In this footage, we have a deer gazing directly into the camera lens, displaying a sense of curiosity. As we take a closer look at the image, it becomes evident that there is something peculiar and odd about this deer. The deer's antlers show an unusual configuration, with one extending from the top of its head and the other positioned just above its eye. While it may seem unusual, such antler defects are not uncommon and are examples of various animal anomalies. Instances of deer antler defects abound, arising from diverse origins. Antler defects can result from factors such as nutritional scarcity during a mother deer's pregnancy or hereditary traits passed down through generations. Despite its unique crown, this deer carries onward a testament to adaptability. It navigates the forest with grace, embodying the spirit of its kind, a symbol that nature in all its quirkiness continues to flourish despite the challenges that come its way. Still on possible Bigfoot sounds, listen to this one from the woods of Pennsylvania. Here's yet another Bigfoot story set in the midst of woods during what appears to be the fall season. As is customary, the trees rely on stored sugars, and with the leaves unable to produce as much food, the chlorophyll breaks down, getting rid of the vibrant green hues of the leaves. Amidst the gorgeous yellow and orange foliage, there is an undercurrent of something eerie. Pay close attention. You hear it, right? The question arises, which creature could be responsible for this sound? While it may bear a resemblance to an ambulance passing by, there is a belief that this sound aligns with what you'd expect a Sasquatch to make. At least, that's what the uploader thinks, but what are your thoughts? Have you ever heard of the term Nephilim? How would you respond if I told you that they might actually exist and one man spent most of his life trying to prove this? Well, watch the footage. L.A. Mazzulli, the firm believer in the existence of the Nephilim, conducted an interview with a man claiming to have witnessed a creature emerging from a portal. As he was strolling through a park, the hiker noticed peculiar activity ahead, prompting him to grab his camera. A transparent bubble begins to form on the path. Upon closer inspection of the path, one can discern a round object in its trajectory. But that is not even the main issue. Right in the core of the invincible bubble, a hazy creature begins to form. This creature ranks up high on the list of things that would not be believed if they were not filmed. But as always, the experts had to make sure they were dealing with authentic footage. They conducted several tests, and guess what they uncovered? A long-headed creature, or should I say the Nephilim crawling out of a portal. It's no news that humans are not alone, but sometimes these anomalies are just mind-boggling. It looked like the creature was changing and was now materializing in our plane or from whatever place it was coming from. Could that mean that these Nephilims are real like Ellie Mazzulli suspects? What do you think though? Should we be worried, or is this an elaborate hoax? When you hear ghosts, you think of hauntings, murder, and death. But tell me why none of these ring a bell when I look at this footage. An apparition was caught on camera crouched by a bin, and moments later it vanished. The figure looked ghostly and had what looked like arms waving before vanishing into thin air. Now, why would a ghost be haunting a bin, and why would it be waving its hands? Is it trapped in some kind of a plane and is trying to escape to our world? Or is there something more sinister happening here? Is the footage even real at all? Tell us in the comments section. This hiker was walking through the woods when he spotted a creature emerging from the woods. Not knowing what it was, he took out his camera to film. But the creature noticed him too, and he had no other option than to run for his dear life. Did you see the creature though? It appears to be an extremely pale humanoid creature crawling on its arms and legs. The creature moved swiftly through the trees, aggressively approaching the hiker. As its eerie presence inches closer, its inhuman nature becomes strikingly evident, a visage far more unsettling than that of a mere human. This sinister being, identified as a rake, emerges from the shadows of folklore and fears. While traditionally associated with nocturnal appearances, this encounter sheds light on the unsettling possibility of these creatures venturing forth even in the light of day. Looks like this man would not be taking a hike through the woods ever again. For our next footage, we journey deep into the heart of Southeast Asia, where the rainforest shrouds its most enigmatic enigma yet, a creature straddling the boundary between reality and myth. This elusive primate has kindled the fires of imagination in all who have dared to glimpse its form. What you see looks like a landscape ripped from the vivid dreams of a cryptid enthusiast. A rainforest draped in a tapestry of emerald hues, every leaf hinting at ancient tales untold. In the midst of this living canvas emerges the protagonist of our narrative, a mysterious primate that embodies both puzzle and intrigue. Stature modest, standing at a mere 2 feet, yet it exudes an aura of quiet marvel that effortlessly seizes the spotlight. The initial encounter sears itself into memory. The fur, or rather the absence thereof, this enigmatic being defies the norms, its pelts seemingly untouched by nature's brushstrokes. It's almost as if its very existence was meant to remain a canvas of bare intrigue, save for the whimsical crown of fur that graces its head. Despite these magnificent words I've been able to pull together to describe this creature, one question remains. Is this real? Does this being exist? Have you had any encounters or experiences? Share them with us in the comments section. We'll be reading. This is why you don't mess with abandoned buildings. This photographer visited an abandoned house. Ash was going around the house. This weird, pale-faced lady appeared at the window mumbling words to him. If that was me, I would have bolted long ago, but this adventurer stood filming the weird lady. Moments later, the strange woman snaps and starts yelling and banging at the window. Based on the cameraman's reaction, I suspect that this entire incident might be staged. I mean, who in their right mind could endure such a creepy situation? Definitely not me. Secondly, if you closely examine the creature's skin, it appears as if someone is wearing a rubber costume. You can even see the face through the eyes of the mask, but what do you think? This next footage was taken by a biker who was riding through the forest, but what seemed like a fun day turned into a terrifying one when he encountered a creature we're still yet to identify during his ride. Watch the clip. The footage captures the biker riding along a path in the woods until he reaches a narrow trail with walls on both sides. As he was using the path, a pale creature leapt from the trees into the path as though it were trying to attack the rider. Startled, the biker looks back to catch a glimpse of the creature, but it disappears into the forest. Let's take another look. The creature looks like a monkey with its tail, except that it was hairless and the flesh looked pale. We can't see its face because it has its back facing the camera. It's creepy by all standards. It all happens so fast that it's difficult to accurately describe what was happening. I don't think this rider would be taking this route ever again after this scare. But what creature was that? Why did it suddenly appear on the path? Could it be an otherworldly creature? It's hard to answer these questions, but what do you think? In another peculiar scenario, a homeowner was left in astonishment when he reviewed the footage from this outdoor security camera. In the dead of night, the camera captured an almost naked man standing in front of the house. This man was engaging in a bizarre and erratic dance. The situation didn't appear to be a mere prank, but rather suggested the involvement of a person dealing with mental health issues or under the influence of drugs. It's evident that the individual was not under any supervision, and wandering around nearly nude in the street raises concerns for their safety. Hopefully, this person is located and provided with the necessary assistance and support they require. Ever had such an experience? Please share in the comments section. Speaking of sharing experiences, please send in your clips. As long as they're bizarre and out of this world, we will feature them. And if you're unsure of what you captured, don't worry. I'm sure the thousands of subscribers who watch the videos could help you make sense of it. Simply send it to classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. Moving on. In Mexico, a street surveillance camera captured an eerie and puzzling scene. In the video, a woman dressed in white emerges from the darkness into a well-lit area. She appears to be in distress, looking behind her and running while shouting for help. It seems something is pursuing her. However, when you inspect the area behind her, there is nothing visible. Upon closer examination, as the woman reaches the well-lit path, you can spot a smoky, human-like apparition at the end of the wall she emerged from. This entity seems to be following her, but as soon as she enters the well-lit area, it comes to a halt, standing in the darkness. This strange encounter captured by the surveillance camera is very strange. I'm sure if the camera hadn't captured this, no one would have believed her. Are those black coyotes? Is there something demonic going on here? Or could they be shapeshifters? After all, when you think of coyotes, you think of a lighter-furred creature, but take a look at these black-furred coyotes. If you know anything about human culture and its association with the color black, you know that some cultures will definitely see these creatures as a symbol of evil and bad luck, just like they do with black cats. But believe us when we tell you that these creatures are not actually cursed or anything. They're not even scientifically made or a different species of coyote. They're just regular coyotes, but this time they come in black. These are pretty rare and hard to come by. Their dark fur gives them this mysterious look and vibe. Coyotes are nocturnal creatures, meaning they thrive at nighttime. They're in close relation to a wolf, but slightly smaller, and were known as brush wolves, prairie wolves, and American jackals. They feed on any prey and occasionally munch on fruit when there's no meat available. All coyotes do this whether they're black or the usual color. I don't know who set the rule that black animals are evil. Looking at these magnificent creatures, I believe the person had it wrong. Very wrong. But what do you think? Next, we have this weird-looking girl that was captured on a trail cam. Although she's dressed in typical human attire, her features are anything but ordinary. Since the image was captured from a distance, discerning her facial features is challenging. However, what can be observed appears human except for her ears. Her ears look like that of a wolf sticking out from the top of her head like a character from Sweet Tooth. While the rest of her body appears human, a closer examination of her legs and feet reveals what appears to be furry legs rather than clothing. I don't know if this can be considered a mystical or alien creature. Part of me wants to believe she's simply a little girl in a wolf's costume, but there's an unsettling aura emanating from the image that challenges that notion. It's almost as though this isn't an attempted cosplay and we're actually looking at a young girl with wolf-like characteristics. I don't know of any mythical creature that fits the bill. Could scientists be cooking up something in their labs? Could this girl have escaped and gotten caught on a trail cam? Tell us what you think. In the heart of the night, under a pitch-black canopy of trees, a brave group of adventurers embark on a quest. Their breath visible in the frigid air, their journey is shrouded in secrecy. The obscurity of the forest amplifying every sound and rustling leaf. Armed with matches, their tiny torches flicker like fragile embers, offering glimpses into the abyss. As they approach a sinister cave, its ominous mouth seems like a portal to a realm not meant for human eyes. The feeble light dances, revealing an eerie figure standing guard at the entrance. This mysterious sentinel, a creature with limbs akin to an unknown avian species, hesitates on the precipice of the unknown. Its intent remains a riddle concealed in its inky silhouette. With the aura of forbidden knowledge, the entity moves with calculated caution, perhaps to protect the secrets concealed within the cavern's ancient walls. There's an unspoken tension, a silent agreement between the explorers and this otherworldly gatekeeper. Is this entity the legendary cave goblin or the elusive Tommyknocker? Figures entwined with folklore's chilling narratives. Yes, I did go all Shakespeare on you, but what do you think this is? Tell us in the comments section, preferably in plain language. Trail cams have indeed been a fascinating tool for capturing strange creatures in the forest, from Bigfoot to rakes, skinwalkers, siren heads, and more. The owner of this trail cam had a terrifying surprise when they discovered these images. In the first photo, a goblin-like creature was standing facing the camera with a human-like body, but distinctive features like a large nose, long elf-like ears, and a bald head. In the second photo, it appeared to be the same creature, but on the other side of its body there were two arms, one on top of the other, and it had an elongated mouth. Is it really the same creature? Could it be that it has multiple limbs, but only one was picked up by the first trail cam due to the camera angle? Well, we can't say for sure, but after a thorough inspection, it was determined that these creatures were likely not humans in costumes. This leaves us with the eerie possibility of these creatures being real. Either that or the footage is edited. What do you think? Next, we have a capture that's unlike any we have ever captured of a cryptid. In this remarkable footage, we witness a cryptid strolling leisurely across a vast field. The creature is at least 10 feet tall and wears a black fur. Despite its ape-like physique, this enigmatic creature moves with an uncanny human-like gait. Do we know any creatures that fit this description? Yes, Bigfoot. Here's a question for you. Have you ever witnessed a Bigfoot moving so confidently in any of our trail cam captures? If you answered no, you're not wrong, but I can't help but wonder, where is it going? Bigfoots always seem to be on a mission, but where exactly are they headed? Is it toward their place of abode, or are they merely exploring their surroundings? Whatever the reason, the one in this capture seems to be the most confident, and we don't know how to feel about it. Great capture by all standards, though. This footage was taken by a ghost hunter who went searching on a strange field in the middle of the woods. In the field, He found graves and other weird objects hanging on tree branches, including necklaces made of human teeth. If that doesn't scream cursed, I don't know what would. However, the man doesn't leave. He continues searching the land until he discovers a woman crouched on the ground wearing a black cloak. The puzzled man yells at her. This alarms the woman and sends her bolting out of there. He attempts to run after the woman, but he trips and falls, allowing her to narrowly escape. It appears that the woman was involved in something suspicious. Why else would she flee in such a manner? Is she perhaps a witch casting a spell or something? Share your thoughts. Have you ever been in the wrong place at the right time or taken a wrong turn that led to something unexpected and interesting? Well, the uploader of our next footage did. Have a look. During an early morning walk through the woods, a group of explorers spotted an ape-like creature standing just a few feet away, fixing its gaze intently on them. The creature, standing at a height of about 6 to 7 feet, had dark hair and was positioned near a tree, its arms wrapped around the trunk. You don't need to be a paranormal expert to recognize that this is definitely a Bigfoot. But here's the twist. This creature isn't running. Instead, it stands its ground and even gestures to the explorers as if warning them to stay back. This is the first time we've captured footage of Bigfoot behaving in such a manner. Fascinating, isn't it? Now the big question remains, is this footage real? We'd love to hear your thoughts. This video clip is presumably recorded by the husband of a lady walking hand in hand with her daughter. A tranquil and serene scene, if you ask me. But here's where things get interesting. A creature seemingly appears out of nowhere, headed straight for the woods, where an intriguing glimmer of bright light awaits. The lady notices, stops, and turns around. The person filming slowly comes to the realization of what's happening, and the footage slowly ends. Let's talk about this creature. It checks all the boxes for our Sasquatch classification. I mean, fur, check. Ape-like body, check. And the kicker, the gait that's oddly human-like. Now, before you think I've gone all skeptical on you, let me share my take. That gait, it's a smidge too human, almost like someone's trying out a Halloween costume. Before you're tempted to call me a non-believer, you should know I love Bigfoot videos and can't wait to meet one in person. As much as I love Bigfoots, this video seems a little bit too convenient. I mean, who records a video of this family like that? The video was recorded in a way that makes it look like it was planned and they were expecting the creature to show up. If a mother saw a large beast around her daughter, her fight or flight response would activate and she'd go into full protective mummy mode. The same would be expected of a father, whom I suspect to be the one filming. But everyone was chill, and a bit too chill, if you ask me. Yes, fear can do that, but I don't think this is fear. I think it was all rehearsed, and perhaps that's just me. What do you think? Next, we have a Trailcam capture that has left me turning in bed for days. Take a look at the image. The usual me would have screamed Bigfoot, but there's something about this creature that makes me feel it's a creature much darker and sinister than a Bigfoot would be. Just look at the body. It's clearly taller than 9 or 10 feet, judging by its height in comparison to the surrounding trees. Aside from that, it's more upright than any of the Bigfoot we've ever reviewed on this channel, and it wears a frown. Never before have we seen a Bigfoot with such a frown or sinister expression. Is this really a Bigfoot, or is there another cryptid with similar characteristics that's even more dangerous and sinister? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Next, we have something a bit more familiar, yet still extraordinary. Would you look at that? This dark-haired cryptid looks like a hybrid of a monkey and a bear. I wonder how that happened. But if you are a subscriber to this channel, you'll know that this is nothing new. Though we're used to such strange sightings and creatures, there's always a chill that runs through my spine when I see these creatures. Dealing with a bear or a fully grown ape is no easy feat. It can't be any easier when the creature is seemingly a hybrid of the two. The creature possesses a large muscular body similar to that of a bear, but it also displays a slight hunch reminiscent of a gorilla. It seems to be capable of walking on its 2 feet like a human, but you and I know that's no human or a gorilla or bear. Then what is it? The Dogman, Bigfoot, or an entirely new cryptid? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Have you ever gone through the woods and heard weird and strange sounds? Well, the one who captured this video lived through one, and you wouldn't believe the footage he captured. Listen attentively.
I don't know what that is. I don't know. It's scary.
You heard it, didn't you? Now, there's no animal we know that makes sounds like that, and it couldn't have been a small animal because if it was, the sound wouldn't have traveled that far with that much volume and depth. It's no bear, definitely not a wolf, and couldn't be any smaller like a coyote. What then could it be? Well, we can't say for sure, but if your guess is as wild as mine, then you'd probably be thinking it's a Bigfoot. Could it actually be one, though? I'll let you decide. Something large is staring back at the dog. What do you think it is? What would you do if your dog ventured into the dark, unknown alone? As night fell and this dog owner prepared to retire to bed and decided to find her dog and bring it indoors, after scouring the entire house, her quest led her to the backyard.
Nigel, what are you doing?
There, an unsettling sight awaited. She found her dog crouched and fixated on a mysterious presence shrouded in the darkness. The woman called out to her pet, only to find it immovable from its crouched stance. Driven by both curiosity and worry, she cautiously approached the scene, determined to uncover the cause of her dog's unease. Observe the scene closely. Do you notice it? Amidst the obscurity, a shadowy figure emerges, its eyes illuminated in an eerie glow. Those luminous eyes are fixed intently on the dog, yet the cloak of darkness shrouds its identity, leaving us to ponder what it could be. It doesn't appear to be either feline or canine, which leaves us to wonder what it is. Some of our team members think it might be a rat, some think it's actually a cat, whereas a few think it's all fake. Where do you stand? Think that was peculiar and scary? Then I wonder what you make of this next capture. For some, it would look like a thing of nightmares. This creature was captured on a Trailcam one night. The Trailcam capture begins with a serene view of the woods. However, the tranquility of the woods is abruptly shattered as this creature enters the camera frame. At first glance, you might think it's a man, but you soon realize it's a weird humanoid creature with fur all over it. While it's difficult to ascertain if the blurriness affects its appearance, the creature seems to possess an ethereal, ghostly white fur. This creature looks fixated on something and simply walks right across the camera frame and then out of frame. We're limited by the fact that we're dealing with images, but you don't have to be an expert to know that this thing is a cryptid. What it is, though, remains a mystery for us. It's hard to call it a Bigfoot because of its ghostly or white-looking fur. Could it be a Yeti? No, that's not possible. The pictures don't appear to originate from a snowy or rocky region. There are no other cryptids that we can think of that fit the bill. Can you help, or do you think this is simply a man in a costume? Let us know in the comments section. It's funny to think that scarecrows are still a thing in this modern world, but if it isn't broken, well, don't fix it, right? After all, it's the only cost-effective way farmers can keep pests away from their crops. While it may not be foolproof, it manages to get the job done in some way or another. Over the years, farmers have gotten creative with their scarecrow game, taking it up a notch. Scarecrows are already creepy standing stiff in the middle of a farm. Imagine adding movements to it. Super creepy, right? Well, these drone navigators fell into this scarecrow trap. As they flew their drone over a farm, they suddenly spotted a scarecrow. Moments later, to their surprise, the eerie strawman came to life, moving about the farm and menacingly waving a rake toward the camera. This left them spooked for a minute, believing the scarecrow was possessed, but it turned out to be nothing more than some guy in a costume. In this video, we find ourselves in the eerie company of two peculiar figures, their long raven black hair cascading like a shroud over their unsettling presence. Their behavior is far from ordinary as they move in an uncanny manner on all fours, defying the conventions of humanity. What truly chills the soul is the horrifying scene they seem to be confronting. They appear to be feasting on the flesh of a dead deer. Speculation runs wild with dark and disturbing theories emerging. Could it be a macabre gathering of lifeless bodies, hinting at a sinister appetite for human flesh? The term person eater hangs heavily in the air, conjuring images of an unspeakable horror that defies reason. What are your thoughts on this spine-tingling capture? Is it a glimpse into the shadows of the supernatural, or is there a more mundane explanation lurking just out of sight? Share your insights and theories in the comments, for this is a riddle that demands our collective curiosity. Next, we visit India, where a group of friends in India had a perplexing encounter one night when they came across a strange creature on their path. From the footage, we can see that this unusual entity had human-like limbs, but was somehow standing on all fours like an acrobat would. Its most striking features include a bald head and what appeared to be a beard on its chin. Or is that its head? It's hard to say with the way its body is set up. Obviously, the creature is unlike anything we've encountered, and its appearance undoubtedly raises many questions. While skeptics might suggest that it could be a hoax or a result of creative video editing, you can't deny that even if that was the case, it's still scary. But what do you think? Hoax or the real deal? Tell us in the comments section. Next, we have footage that involves an unknown or identified tall being who for some odd reason seems to be in a hurry. The creature at first glance looks like an ape, but all who took a critical look at it speculated it was a Sasquatch. Some even stated it might be a Yeti, but the creature's brown fur and approximate height of 7 feet align more closely with the characteristics of Bigfoot, possibly a juvenile. The creature, though heavy, still moves swiftly among the trees with ease. Sasquatch, Bigfoot, and Yeti are all cryptids with slight variations. All are huge ape-like creatures. Bigfoot and Sasquatch are known for their dark fur, typically black or brown, while Yetis are described with white or light brown fur. Yetis are found in the snowy Himalayan mountains. All these enigmatic creatures reside in the mountainous woodlands away from humans. Given this description, it's reasonable to assume that the creature we're seeing is a Bigfoot, but that still leaves us with numerous unanswered questions. Why is he running? Who or what was after him? Well, if you take a closer look at the footage, you realize the camera is following the cryptid, which means someone was filming. It was most likely trying to get away from humans. That's our assertion, though. What do you think? One of, if not the scariest of today's compilation. Think I'm exaggerating? Well, take a look at this capture. Do you see it? Do you see how scary and eerie looking it is? What in the world is it? A werewolf? A chupacabra? Or something entirely different? Whatever it is, it couldn't be safe to be around. If the red eyes are not a giveaway, the rest of its body should send the message loud and clear. One thing bothers me, though. The sheep don't seem to be perturbed by the presence of the creature. This makes me feel like it could be an edited photo or a man in a costume. But what do you think? We'd love to know. This footage was captured by an adventurous hiker out on a nature expedition. As he goes deeper into the forest, he stumbles upon something super strange. Right there in the patches of sunlight coming through the trees is this bony, weird-looking figure. It's crouched down, moving in an almost eerie way, as if it's up to something mysterious. The hiker, totally baffled, decides to investigate. He grabs a stake for safety and tosses it at the strange creature, half expecting it to jump at him or something, but what happens next is out of this world. The creature does react, but instead of attacking, it goes off in a super agile, almost ghostly way. It scampers up the roof of the nearby house, blending into the shadows and vanishing from sight. Now, the big question is this whole thing a human-made trick, like a fancy puppet or some computer wizardry, or is it from a realm way more mysterious than our hiker ever imagined? Before you say anything, allow me to say what I think, and please don't crucify me. It's definitely fake. It looks like a computer manipulation that was not well done. Why would someone try to make fun of the paranormal community by creating something like this? You know what? Breathe in and out. Yes, that's much better. Back to what I was saying. This is clearly not real, at least from my perspective. What's yours? The next footage was captured by a highway surveillance camera in the UK back in 2007. Take a look. The footage starts off looking painfully ordinary and blurry, but suddenly a mysterious creature emerges from one side of the road and swiftly dashes across to the other. This creature appeared to have 4 legs, long limbs, and a tail, but what set the paranormal bells ringing was its ghostly and ethereal appearance. What's even more bewildering is the lack of reaction from the passing cars. Normally, you'd expect drivers to stop or swerve to avoid an animal, but it appears that none of the drivers even registered the presence of this mysterious creature. To rule out any potential tampering or editing, experts conducted a thorough investigation and concluded that the footage was indeed authentic. So, what on earth is that? Where did it come from, and are our streets really safe? I know this sounds sensationalist, but think about it. Would you believe us when we tell you that the ball of fire you see on your screen is actually no fire at all? Would you believe us when we tell you that sources say that it was a witch trying to escape the grasp of its captors? These days, it's hard to differentiate between myths and reality. Stories that used to be mythical can now be seen playing out in real life. In the past, aliens, slender men, and skinwalkers were all considered mythical stories. However, nowadays we have hundreds of bits of video evidence that seemingly prove their existence. I mean, take a look at this footage. Upon investigation, it was revealed that a woman engaged in activities that displeased her neighbors. In response, the community confronted her, but to their astonishment, she became engulfed in flames and descended into the sky. I don't know how true this is, but with how messed up reality is now, it might as well be true. Or what do you think? The weird and, quite frankly, scary one. Don't believe me? Have a look. Did you see that? Yup, that's definitely a deer with 2 noses. A property owner in Lancaster County spotted this double-nosed deer in the woods. The funny thing is, he was not even trying to find something odd. He was simply reviewing the beautiful wildlife footage his Trailcam recorded. It was during this process that he noticed something rather odd. At first, he couldn't believe it and had to watch the video once again to be sure. He found himself rewatching the video multiple times, and who can blame him? After all, encounters like this are incredibly rare. The deformed deer had two noses, with one on top of the other. It may resemble a creature from a horror movie, but surprisingly, it's not. This unique condition can occur due to hormonal imbalances during pregnancy. That doesn't change the fact that it's freaky looking, though. Have you come across creatures like this? Let us know in the comments section. Chucky is no doubt a doll that terrorized any in their childhoods. I mean, watching anything with that terrifying doll in it is bound to give you nightmares for days. But what would you do if it wasn't fiction? What would you do if you had a horrific doll like Chucky in the basement of your new home? The uploader of the footage found these dolls in the basement of his new home. He doesn't believe they were left there on accident and thinks the previous owner might have intentionally left them behind. He couldn't figure out why until he saw one of the dolls move on its own. He swears it's true and says the eyes of the doll follow him anytime he's in the same space with them. I want to believe his story, but if the dolls are as horrific as he says, why is he moving and filming so close to them? Am I being too much of a skeptical Joe, or is something really going on there? Tell me what you think in the comments section. Amidst the plethora of paranormal sightings and glimpses of wildlife, today's Trailcam footage offers a remarkably different spectacle. The Trailcam was positioned on a property, its lens scanning the landscape, when it captured an unforeseen event: an explosion. Thankfully, the camera managed to freeze frame-still images of the explosive incident, revealing that it originated from the neighbor's property. The source of the explosion was traced back to the neighboring property of the cam owner. It was a meth lab concealed within the woods, and the ignition led to a subsequent explosion. Thankfully, the incident resulted in no casualties, although there were injuries. Doing drugs can be dangerous, irrespective of where you position your lab. Do yourself a favor, stay away from all drug-related vices after this video, and you'll thank us. I think the crab came out of the waters to find a dull bride. As you can see, our friend Sebastian here has managed to get himself stuck in a Barbie doll head. Imagine this poor creature venturing out of the ocean for some fresh air, only to stumble upon a rubber bride in the form of a Barbie doll. Similar to fish, crabs rely on their gills to breathe underwater. However, unlike fish, crabs can survive on land for approximately 24 hours, but only if their gills remain moist. It's funny to think that a crab will decide to use its 24 hours to find itself a Barbie doll. It must really be lonely under the sea, huh, Sebastian? Either this scene is just a weird party or something far more sinister. A peculiar group of individuals dressed in suits was caught on camera. They might just be a bunch of weirdos playing dress-up, but in the middle of the night though, coming from the woods. Adding to the peculiarity, these suited individuals carry umbrellas and suitcases adorned with hats while behaving in a highly hysterical manner. Their jumps and erratic street running eerily mirror the iconic movements of Charlie Chaplin. Is this a Charlie Chaplin cult, or is there something more sinister happening here? After all, you can even see one person in a sinister-looking mask who appears to be their leader. But wait, it gets even more eerie. On the right side of the road where these individuals emerge from the forest, a red fire reminiscent of a bonfire illuminates the bushes. The whole scene here is bizarre, and it's hard to make sense of it. Is this some kind of costume party or a cult? Tell us what you think. At first glance, you might think you're looking at an unruly, oversized rhizome with uniparious cyme branches and a sympodial axis. However, there's more to this than meets the eye. Yes, I know that intro was confusing, but, well, I'm trying to sound smart. Anyway, This eerie tree stands amidst the woods, presenting an appearance quite distinct from the typical trees we encounter on ordinary days. Tall and pallid, the tree exudes an air of remoteness and eeriness in the footage. The surrounding ground is carpeted with pale green grass, while the eyes of a carved figure gaze out at us. Meanwhile, the neighboring trees stand devoid of leaves or branches. The peculiar carving on the tree depicts a figure in an almost elongated posture. It evokes imagery of a woman who, if alive, might be in a stretch. The head is twisted sharply to the right, hanging like a captured fugitive poised to utter their final words, perhaps as they were being turned into a tree. But is that something that's even possible? Also, how has the hair been preserved if that's true? Well, given our little experience with the paranormal, we wouldn't roll anything out, but do tell us, what do you think happened here? Did the tree somehow assume this shape, or are we dealing with a paranormal occurrence? Tell us in the comments section. Would Bigfoot hide in plain sight? Well, opinions vary on this matter. Some in the paranormal community believe he would, others don't think so. But here's footage that might give us a definitive answer. Do you see the dark area of the zoomed-in footage on your screen? Do you see it moving, or is it perfectly still? If you saw it move, then the uploader might be onto something. He believes that's a Bigfoot trying to stay perfectly still so no one realizes it's there. Personally, I don't see it. Do you? The video footage depicts a bustling cityscape with several high-rise apartments lighting up the night sky. However, upon closer inspection, you can observe that the lights emanating from various windows are of different colors and hues. In particular, one can't help but notice the purple lights. Have you ever wondered why these purple lights are so prevalent in these buildings? Several theories attempt to explain the purpose of these purple lights. One of the most popular ones is that they're used for indoor plant cultivation. Specifically, some people believe that these purple lights are used to grow weeds or cannabis plants. As you may know, plants require different wavelengths of light to grow, and purple lights are beneficial for the growth and development of cannabis plants. However, there are others who speculate about the purpose of these purple lights. Some people suggest they may be used for recreational activities, such as parties or social gatherings, which could explain why they're so abundant in certain apartments. What are your thoughts on this matter? Do you have any other ideas or information that could shed light on the mystery of the purple lights in these apartments? Let's take a closer look at this fascinating feline. As you can see, there appears to be a third eye situated right in the center of its forehead. While this could be a result of a birth defect, it's worth noting that the concept of third eyes holds a special significance in many spiritual and metaphysical belief systems. In certain cultures, the third eye is thought to represent an individual's ability to see beyond the physical world and tap into higher levels of consciousness. Given this context, it's not hard to wonder if this cat is more than just a mere physical being, and if its third eye could be a manifestation of some sort of spiritual energy of power. Next is this peculiar security footage from Kentucky, where a strange entity was spotted walking along the streets. The entity appears to be a body of white smoke taking on a humanoid shape. It moves unusually, crouching down to its waist and placing its arms on its knees while looking around as if to watch out for someone or something. What could it be? No one knows. All we have are theories and speculations. Some in the comments section of the original posts even joked with @ant7018, a user on YouTube, stating this: 300-pound woman films a scrawny husband sneaking home from the bar late at night. While it's humorous, it still leaves us with questions. What is that? Why is it there? Is it even real? If any of you can provide answers, please go ahead and do so in the comments section. We'll be reading. If you still haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do it now? Thanks very much, it means a lot and allows us to create more content like this. Moving on to the next clip. This creature spotted in Montana appears to be a truly unusual and unsettling entity. It appears to have characteristics resembling a mix of a wolf, a human, and a hyena. Its head is reminiscent of a wolf, the body is similar to a hyena, and its front limbs resemble those of a human. The creature's dark fur adds to its eerie and intimidating appearance, earning it comparisons to a nightmarish bloodhound. In paranormal circles, such a creature may often be referred to as a dogman. Some suggest it might be a werewolf, while others propose a more scientific explanation, such as a hybrid animal. Regardless of its origins, this creature certainly has an intimidating and fearsome presence that would deter anyone from attempting to approach or interact with it. Yes, it's scary, and while I want it to be very real, a second look makes me think it could all be CGI. What do you think? A group of men were enjoying a leisurely afternoon by the shores of Mexico when they suddenly noticed a strange creature in the water. The creature was partially submerged and its body was partly visible on the surface of the water. Upon closer inspection, the men noticed that the creature had a unique appearance which made it stand out from any other creature they'd seen before. The creature had a smooth body and it was around 2 feet long. Its head resembled that of a seal with a pointed snout and large black eyes. The body, however, was much flatter than that of a seal and it had a distinct pattern of black on its back. The men were unsure what type of creature they had encountered and they debated among themselves. Some of them believed it could be a sea turtle, while others were convinced that it was a leopard seal. They continued to watch the creature as it made its way through the water, trying to catch a glimpse of any other distinguishing features. What do you think this creature could be? The video footage in question showcases a craft that appears to be defying the laws of gravity. Despite our understanding of how gravity works, this video raises various questions. The camera inside the craft zooms in on a bottle of water and the cup that has been placed on the dashboard. When you look outside, it seems as though the craft is moving downwards and then upwards. There is even a point where it looks like the craft is rotating. However, the cup and the bottle remain unaffected by these movements. To add to the mystery, the person inside the craft proceeds to pour water into the cup. Despite the craft's movements, the water flows straight into the cup and doesn't spill out. According to our understanding of gravity, this doesn't make sense. However, Julius, our resident in-house scientist on all things paranormal, states that there is something called the centrifugal force that could explain what's happening here. This force is created when an object moves around a central point and can cause objects to move in a circular motion. The craft may be rotating in a way that creates centrifugal force, which is strong enough to counteract the effects of gravity on the cup and bottle. He also adds that the plane isn't moving fast enough, which could only mean that the individual is in a simulator, but you guys tell me what you think. Next, we have footage from some young explorers who were exploring the enchanted forest of Tofino. It was all good until they had a perplexing encounter. Take a look. They managed to capture footage of a mysterious creature, but the creature had its back to the camera as it walked away. The footage primarily shows the creature's dark, furry back, partially concealed by the trees. What's truly intriguing is that this creature appears to be walking on 2 legs, as the video reveals. The hikers were astounded by the sight and even ventured closer to the location where they'd spotted the creature. Their surprise deepened when they discovered fresh tracks left by the creature. The prints bore a striking resemblance to human footprints but were considerably much larger. Convinced that they hadn't encountered a bear but rather a humanoid creature, they contemplated the possibility of it being a Bigfoot. Looking at the footage, I can see why they think that. I mean, do you know any other creature that could leave prints that human-like and large? If you do, please share it with us in the comments section. Until then, the conclusion is that that's a Bigfoot. Before you move on to the next clip, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment in the comments section. It goes a long way to help us produce more videos for you. Thanks very much for doing so. It means a lot. Moving back to today's episode, in this next footage, a woman ventured into the forest in search of edible plants. As she carefully explored the vegetation, she suddenly noticed an unusual movement within some nearby bushes. Without hesitation, she promptly fled from the scene. The source of this movement could have been a concealed animal, the rustling of leaves in the wind, or even an individual. Regardless, her quick departure was a wise choice, as the situation might have posed a potential danger. But if you were the one in this situation, what would you have done? If you said flee, well, that's a good decision, but there's more. After the footage was sent to us, we did some digging and realized the footage was from an individual filming themselves in the forest. This makes us think it might have all been planned, but then again, what do you think? An orb from the sky begins to descend toward the direction of the raccoon. When you look carefully, you'll notice that even the raccoon stops to look at the orb before scurrying into the darkness. What could this luminous orb signify? Was it a mere firefly flickering in the night, an unidentified flying object weaving through the cosmic expanse, or perhaps something beyond the grasp of our understanding? Imagine getting a foot massage from a masseuse named Nibbles. Well, now imagine this masseuse also being a gator that can easily bite your toes off or at least take a chunk out of your foot. That's the exact situation with this man and his bizarre choice for a masseuse. Am I the only one who finds the whole thing crazy, or do you guys think it's cool? Whatever you guys think, I believe this man is one of the luckiest ones alive to be playing with a very dangerous animal and getting away with it. Whatever you do, don't ever attempt this at home. You hear me? Keep your limbs safe. Thank you. If you've made it this far, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. Did you enjoy playing hide and seek as a child? If your answer was yes, then I have a question for you. Would you play it with a paranormal being? What you see on your screen now is the recording by a woman who was seeing a humanoid creature occasionally appearing from behind a tree and looking at her. In this clip, the woman is freaking out, and she describes whatever is doing that to be a man. But after closer inspection by us, we realize that it's no man. Instead, it looks like some form of paranormal creature. While it's hard to discern what kind it is, my bet is on the fact that it's a rake. But what's yours? Let's dive into this fascinating cam footage that captured an intriguing encounter between two entirely different creatures. The identity of the first creature remains a mystery, but the little black bundle of joy following behind is none other than a bear, seemingly shadowing the larger creature's path. Upon closer examination, intriguing details emerge. The drooping fur on its body leads me to speculate that this animal is a domestic yak, known by various names such as Tartary ox, hairy cattle, or the grunting ox. At first glance, domestic yaks can be identified by distinct physical features, including dense, long hair, fur that hangs below their bellies, a bulky frame, sturdy legs, a plump appearance, and cloven hooves. While it might seem unusual to witness such a scenario where a bear follows a domestic yak, rest assured this footage poses no cause for alarm. Domestic yaks are known for their friendly nature and ease of training, making them renowned companion animals. Consequently, they pose no threat to the little black bear seen in the footage. But why would a bear be following a yak around? They're not exactly known to be friendly towards each other. This makes some speculate that the creature might in fact be no yak at all, but possibly a cryptid with a lot of fur. What do you think? The mysterious behavior of clouds in the sky as captured in this footage adds another layer of intrigue to the unexplainable phenomena we often encounter. Unlike typical cloud formations, this patch of clouds exhibits unusual movement and shape-shifting, deviating from the norm typically associated with clouds. In trying to understand this phenomenon, one might consider various factors such as atmospheric conditions, wind patterns, or even the possibility of an unconventional cloud formation. However, without more context or scientific analysis, we're left to our imaginations and speculation. Do you have any explanation? Share it with us in the comments section. Before we move on in the next video, just another reminder, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now. I wouldn't want to send a Bigfoot after you. And don't forget to share with your friends and family as well. Thank you very much. Next, let's take a look at what I like to consider one of nature's show-offs. In broad daylight, this strange thing happened. There was water pouring from the sky at just a small part of the street, and when pedestrians looked up to check who or what could have been pouring the water at that specific spot, they realized it was from the sky. It was just rain. This was an interesting occurrence by all standards. Sometimes during a rain shower, clouds might be unevenly spread, causing rain to fall in one area while leaving another dry. This can happen because of the way clouds form and move, leading to localized rain in certain spots, even in broad daylight. While what I just described is an occurrence we have seen several times, this particular one is just new and quite frankly, a bit scary. Do you think the footage is real, or could there be some digital manipulation ongoing? Share your thoughts in the comments section, as always. It's the dead of night, and a lone traveler embarks on a winding road. The dark expanse of woods looms on either side, a silent sentinel to the mysteries that lie within. And then, out of the shadows, an uncanny sight unfolds before his very eyes. As he navigates the road, a surreal tableau comes into view, a congregation of figures unmistakably human yet profoundly peculiar. Clad in matching obsidian suits, they sported identical black hats, bags, and even umbrellas, an ensemble that wouldn't be out of place in a Charlie Chaplin movie. But the twists lay in the details, each one boasting a mustache, a fine eccentric touch that solidified the scene's eerie allure. They moved, if you could call it that, with an oddity that defied convention, their gazes fixed in an unsettling blankness. As the bewildered traveler passed by, the bizarre presence hung in the air like a riddle without a solution. And then, as if scripted by a surrealist's hand, an explosion of pink erupted from the depths of the woods, the very direction from whence these enigmatic figures had emerged. So let's entertain the possibilities, shall we? Could this be a whimsical masquerade, a bizarre costume party that defies reason, or perhaps a darker undercurrent pulses beneath the surface? A clandestine cult, a secret society marching to their own enigmatic rhythm? Tell us what you think. Behold a multitude of ethereal white specters gracefully traversing the landscape. The true identity of these entities remains shrouded in mystery. Their ghostly movements, resembling gliding phantasms, all converge towards a common direction. While skeptics attribute this phenomenon to camera trickery, a closer examination dispels this notion. Observe their ethereal motion as they glide effortlessly behind trees and through gates. These movements defy mere camera manipulation. There have also been various sightings of these entities all over Chile. Could Chile possibly harbor a mysterious portal granting passage to other beings? Are they spectral entities from another realm, or does your belief align with the notion of a mere camera illusion? Tell us in the comments section. Recently, a video was captured by someone showing an extraordinary object in the night sky. The object appears to be a large sphere with an invincible appearance. The sphere flickers in and out of view incredibly fast, making it difficult to capture a clear view. The location of the sighting is unknown, and so is the origin of the object. Experts and enthusiasts alike are divided on what this object could be. Some speculate that it might be a glitch in the fabric of reality or some sort of technological malfunction, while others believe it might be a portal to another dimension or a UFO. The video has sparked a lot of debate and discussion, and many are eagerly waiting for more information to emerge on this mysterious sighting. What do you think of the whole thing?
That was huge. Whoa!
This video, recorded, captures a fascinating incident where an individual is seen using a laser pointer to direct a beam of light toward a particular star in the sky. As the laser hits the star, the surrounding stars appear to move and shift before blinking back into their original positions. The person recording the video is convinced that they're making contact with an unidentified flying object. This compelling footage has sparked discussions and debates about the possibility of extraterrestrial life and the potential of communicating with beings from other worlds. You've seen the clip yourself? What do you think?
That was huge. Whoa!
This footage from the Sequoia National Park. That national park is known for many things, but Bigfoot isn't one of them. The footage you are seeing on your screen right now was captured there. Just in case you're tempted to think that you're looking at an ape, you are not. The park doesn't even have apes, which should let you know how shocked the one who is recording was when the creature popped up. After critically reviewing the footage he recorded, he is very convinced that he's dealing with a Bigfoot, and I can't fault him for thinking so. I mean, look at the build of the creature along with its size. The way it moves is something you'd associate with the legendary Bigfoot. I'm convinced that there's no way that's a human in a costume. If it turns out to be human, I'll be very shocked and quite frankly impressed about how he was able to move so convincingly in the costume. The way it runs with its muscles is just so natural, but perhaps that's just me. What do you think? What would you do if you were walking around at night and suddenly came across a doll in the middle of the road? Well, if it were me, I'd just walk away, but no, not the one who filmed the clip. He stands for a while, recording the strange doll and wondering what to do. As he stands staring at the doll, it suddenly moves and topples over. This sends shivers down his spine. After standing for a second or two, he makes a tactical retreat. But you have to wonder, is this whole thing believable? Why did the doll suddenly fall like that? If it's real, is there an otherworldly creature controlling it? Questions, questions, and questions. An individual has recently discovered a peculiar species of mosquitoes and has been concerned about their origin since. They have observed that the first two mosquitoes are of regular size, but the next set is unusually large and bizarre. It's unclear whether these mosquitoes have undergone a natural evolutionary process or if they were genetically engineered in a laboratory. The individual is worried about the implications of having large mosquitoes, as they're known to be carriers of deadly diseases such as malaria, dengue fever, and the Zika virus. If these mosquitoes were to multiply and spread, they would be a significant threat to human health and safety. Could the size of these mosquitoes be a result of environmental change, or is it something caused by the introduction of foreign substances into the ecosystem? They're concerned that these mosquitoes could be a sign of more significant environmental problems and that they could be affecting other species as well. Overall, the one who shared the clip of these monstrous mosquitoes is alarmed by their discovery and is looking for answers. Does anyone know anything about mosquitoes this size? Please do share in the comments section if you do. The pyramids are one of the world's greatest mysteries that have yet to be solved. Nobody knows how these structures were built. Some believe they were constructed using advanced technology, while others think it was some sort of energy that was used to put them in place. Some believe that they were made by giants. Now, take a look at this video. It shows 3 square rocks, one on top of the other, and the top one appears to be rotating due to some unknown force. However, if you look closely at the middle, there appears to be something shadowy that you might miss. It's unclear what this shadowy object is, but it is a well-crafted work that has left many scratching their heads. If it turns out to be something, it could be a significant discovery that could shed light on the mystery of how the pyramids were built. If it is nothing, then how is this happening and what could cause the rotation of the top rock? Now, we started today's episode with a Bigfoot, and we've had several others in the episode. But believe me when I tell you, this next one is equally as convincing as a Bigfoot sighting. This footage was taken by another explorer while going through the woods. Unlike the many other Bigfoots we have seen who were filmed from behind moving through the woods, this particular one was filmed from afar, and yet it could see that it had been discovered and was being filmed. I'm not particularly sure if he understands the concept, but to confuse the one looking in his direction and filming, he decided to stay in one place, hoping he might not get noticed or be interpreted to be something else. Cheeky, huh? Has any of you encountered a Bigfoot that behaved as such? Please tell us in the comment section. Do you believe aliens are real? Did you just have an iota of doubt even after the admission of the US government? Perhaps you should see this. This intriguing surveillance footage captured an unusual sight behind a parked car. Late at night, a humanoid figure emerges. The creature appears hairless and pale with smaller arms positioned in front of its body. It looked around for a moment before retreating into the darkness. The appearance of this creature does indeed seem rather eerie and could be reminiscent of descriptions of extraterrestrial beings in some accounts. Simply put, it looks like an alien, and I do believe it's actually one. What's your take?
And
This man was staying over at his friend's house when they began to hear noises from the backyard late at night. The property they were in was close to the woods with only a wired fence separating the backyard from the forest. As he went there to check it out, thinking it could be some sort of animal, he found nothing. Still, in the middle of inspecting the place, he heard the scream again.
and it was standing, we think, right in this where I'm standing right now, and my friend's inside right now, but I'm getting this footage. And did you fucking hear that? That was fucking it. Oh.
But he was not sure what it could be, so he ran back inside the house for safety. He soon found out that he was not the only one who had heard it, and all the others who had heard it had different explanations for them. Some said it was a mountain lion, others said it was a fox, while the paranormal community believed it was a skinwalker. Personally, I believe it could be any of these, and I also think it being a skinwalker would be a cool touch, but that might just be me avoiding the facts and stepping into my world of fantasy. What do you personally think of the mysterious night symphony?
And
Asian hornets, scientifically known as Vespa velutina, are a species of hornets native to Southeast Asia. They're quite troublesome in the ecosystem, and there are times when there is a need to take action against them. In this footage, we can see a man in protective gear baiting the hornets with meat. These creatures are carnivores. They feed on bees and other insects and may also consume other sources of protein when available, as you can see in the footage. One of the men ties a white plastic bag on a hornet and leaves it to fly to its hive. Then they track it by following it. The white plastic makes it easy to track. When the man gets there, they dig out the hive and collect all the workers into a container, then go ahead to destroy their eggs, larvae, and queen. This is done to manage the population of invasive Asian hornets, which pose threats to local ecosystems and honeybee colonies. Scary, huh? If you thought obesity was a human problem, then it's only because you haven't seen our final footage. Have a look. Now that's a big guy right there. He's living his best life perched regally under the shade of a tree, indulging in a feast of succulent fruits like a true gourmet connoisseur. It's like a tropical paradise vacation for this primate. And let's talk size, shall we? This monkey isn't just playing around with a snack-sized meal. Nope, he's embracing the buffet with gusto, proving that he's a true fruitarian at heart. With every bite, you can almost hear him say, "Ah, yes, my dear Watson, this mango has just the right balance of sweetness and tanginess." It's a snapshot of pure delight, a scene that's as charming as a Disney movie comes to life. You can almost picture this monkey reclining on a hammock, wearing a pair of sunglasses and sipping a fruit mocktail. Living the dream doesn't even begin to cover it. In a recently recorded video, an intriguing sight was captured. A mysterious creature was spotted hovering through the air, with only its head visible to the viewer. The rest of the entity was completely invisible, shrouded in some sort of cloaking or camouflage. As the creature moved behind a well, another entity suddenly emerged from the ground, adding to the intrigue and mystery of the scene. The true nature of these entities remains unclear, and theories are circulating that they could be a cloaked entity, a ghost, or even an extraterrestrial being. What do you think it could be? Have you ever delved into the intriguing concept of the third eye? While rooted in various spiritual traditions, it's particularly notable in Hinduism, where it's known as the Ajna chakra. This metaphysical eye is believed to reside in the subtle body located between the eyebrows. Unlike the physical organ, it symbolizes insight, intuition, and spiritual enlightenment. In ancient Egyptian mythology, the Eye of Horus symbolizes protection, healing, and royal power, rather than the third eye concept. The Eye of Horus, often depicted as the right eye, was revered for its connection to the sun and moon, embodying the vigilant and protective qualities of the god Horus. Today, the idea of the third eye transcends cultural boundaries, resonating with individuals exploring meditation, self-awareness, and spiritual growth. It's perceived as a gateway to deeper understanding and heightened consciousness, facilitating profound insights into both the external world and one's inner self. So my question is, do you have a third eye? Behold a creature that has stirred both wonder and skepticism, the Alula whale. A cryptid sea dweller whose existence remains unverified. It was first reported in the 1970s by a Dutch captain, Willem Moritz Broyens. He described the creature as being similar to an orca, except for the color of its body, which was brown with the wide star-shaped scars on its back. The Alula whale was also bigger than an orca, and its dorsal fin was about 2 feet high. Scientists think that Captain Willem might have mistaken the orca for the Alula whale because, apart from the account of the captain, no one else has seen this creature until this footage surfaced. Now, as we cast our gaze upon this newfound footage, a compelling question arises. Is this the elusive Alula whale, its true nature unveiled at last, or could it yet be another case of mistaken identity echoing Captain Willem's historical encounter? Tell us what you think in the comments section. Next, we have a video clip that offers a glimpse into the diverse array of fishes from the ocean. Yet, what truly captures our attention is the unexpected appearance of what looks like, dare I say it, a female mermaid. Interestingly, the fish don't swim as closely to her as they do when Ariel passes by. Could her appearance be conveying an expression that deters these little fish, or do they simply show no interest in befriending one of the sea's potential princesses? While it might be dismissed as a hoax or an individual identifying as a mermaid, the presence of a fully developed female mermaid, recognizable by her long hair, suggests that she's faithfully going about her daily routine in the habitat she's known her entire life. As much as I'd love to believe this is real, given our childhood love for Ariel the mermaid, I must admit it's looking suspicious. Don't get me wrong, it looks beautiful, but it gives off a vibe more akin to an animated creation than something genuinely shot in the ocean. Of course, that's just my impression. What are your thoughts? In the animal kingdom, it's an eat or be eaten rule among carnivores. However, when it comes to a family of animals against one predator, they never leave a home behind. In this footage, we can see a lion lunging at a hyena. The hyena tries to get away, but the king of the jungle is not ready to let a disrespectful subordinate get away, so it keeps jaws locked on the neck of the poor guy. Meanwhile, there's an audience of hyenas standing by, but keeping a safe distance for fear of their lives. However, they noticed that their friend would not survive, so they decided to help. They start to gather around the lion, clawing and biting at it. As they got more aggressive, the lion lets go of the hyena in its mouth to fight back the rest. But seeing that there were many and this was an unfair fight, it decided to give up. I have a feeling that the poor hyena won't survive for much longer. Nature is indeed brutal. But long live the king. Nature can be very unpredictable. In a captivating piece of footage, the ordinary, tranquil setting of a river becomes a stage for a mysterious spectacle. As the camera captures the scene, the riverbed beneath the water's surface rises. The water, usually a placid mirror reflecting the sky, gives way to a hidden force sculpting the riverbed into an otherworldly display. Why did the ground under the river suddenly rise? Could it be because of movements deep in the earth, like a hidden dance of rocks and forces, or is there an invisible and otherworldly being shaping the landscape as it pleases? Share your thoughts in the comment section. And for our final clip, we visit the home of a bewildered homeowner. She captures a series of inexplicable events that unfold in the sanctity of a living room. At the beginning of the video, a black cat curiously meanders about, piquing her interest, but soon to be overshadowed by something far more disconcerting. Strange, unnatural knocks seem to manifest and protrude from the walls, defying all rational explanation.
Can you stop? Fuck out!
The room, once serene, becomes a stage for these perplexing occurrences, sending shivers down her spine. As she attempts to address the disconcerting situation, a sense of unease pervades her voice. An eerie encounter occurs as she implores the unknown presence to depart, aiming the camera at the reflective surface in a bid to capture this strange phenomena. Suddenly, a second, uninvited presence emerges from the shadows, inciting an exclamation of fear and disbelief.
I don't know. And my reflection's creeping me out. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. You guys saw that, right? I'm not bugging. Like, here's my reflection. As evening descends, a new twist in this strange narrative unfolds. The homeowner continues recording, unaware of the shadowy figure that traverses her space. Only when the source of illumination reveals the intruder's presence does she apprehend that she is not alone in her home. Who or what could be responsible for these unsettling, almost playful hide-and-seek manifestations? The answer remains elusive, leaving us to contemplate the nature of these mysterious occurrences. What are your theories and speculations? Please share them in the comment section. In the midst of a remote, snowy wilderness, a group of friends embark on a journey deep into the heart of the unknown, hoping for a thrill. As they venture deeper, amidst the eerie silence of this secluded realm, a mysterious figure comes into view. It's a being that seems to be plucked from the annals of cryptozoology, the Bigfoot. The infamous, hairy, and towering creature is running, its movements both swift and elusive. Adding to the intrigue, the video captures more than just a Bigfoot. Through the eerie green light of the camera, another mysterious figure of similar height and stature emerges. What do you make of this particular occurrence? Is it truly Bigfoot, or could there be an even stranger explanation for these chilling figures in the snow? The comments section awaits your thoughts and theories. Please head over and share them.
This next one shows an unusual creature with a horned head emerging from the depths of the water. The footage was shot by an anonymous source, and the location where the incident occurred remains unknown. The creature appears to be similar to a dragon, and by that I mean the mythical creature that has been part of many cultures' folklore. Believe it or not, some cultures and individuals believe that dragons did exist in the past, and this video raises questions about the possibility of their existence. The creature's appearance is intriguing, and it presents a striking resemblance to the descriptions of dragons in various mythologies. This footage has sparked a debate among experts and enthusiasts around the world. Some believe that the creature could be a product of CGI, or it could be a hoax. Others suggest that it could be a real-life dragon, and the footage is evidence of their existence. But what do you think of this? Recently in Brazil, a video went viral showing strange light beams appearing in the sky. The footage shows the beams emanating from round lights that were hidden in the sky. The mysterious nature of the lights has led many to speculate that they could be evidence of alien life or UFOs. The video has sparked a lot of discussion and debate among experts and the public alike, with some suggesting that the lights could be a natural phenomenon such as ball lighting, while others believe they're evidence of extraterrestrial activity. The phenomenon has not yet been explained, and it remains a topic of fascination for many. What do you think it is?
Have you ever had one of those feelings when you knew someone was around? Those feelings you typically have in the shower when you have soap all over your face and a still voice tells you to open your eyes because someone is there. Typically there's no one, right? But what if there was someone? Well, take a look at this footage. This leopard had similar feelings, and when it turned around, there it was, an animal as large as it was. It went into instinct mode and jumped. And who can blame it? It didn't know what it was. A few seconds into its high and panicky jump, it realizes it's another cat in its family. If it were me, someone would definitely get the slipper. For our next clip, we travel all the way to the Philippines. A farmer here had a mysterious encounter on his farm, capturing what appears to be a mythical creature known as a sibgin. For our Western audience, sibgins are blood-sucking creatures that roam the night, often moving backwards with their heads facing down. They're very popular in Filipino folklore and are believed to be pitch black and possess the ability to cloak themselves, making them elusive and eerie. In the footage, the farmer can be seen extending his hand toward the creature in an attempt to lure it closer. But as it approaches and he sees what it is, he throws pebbles at it and the creature then retreats. Before you scream animal abuse or harassment, these creatures are very deadly despite their small size. It's highly unusual to witness a sibgin out in broad daylight, adding to the intrigue and mystery surrounding these mythical creatures.
These stones are quite fascinating as they seem to create sparks when they collide with an object. The sparks are bright and fiery and give off an intense energy. It's quite intriguing to see such a phenomenon in action. The one who originally posted it stated that they're special stones from Africa. Someone joked and called it vibranium, but I don't know. The little I know from my comics doesn't show that's the case. We did a little digging around, and it turns out there are stones called flint stones that are capable of things like this that makes us think it could be a type of that. However, this is not confirmed, and further testing will be required to confirm their true composition. Nonetheless, the sparks produced by these stones are quite efficient and could have interesting applications in various fields such as construction, mining, or even pyrotechnics. We would appreciate a full-blown instruction in the comments section. Throughout history, there have been numerous accounts of people claiming to have seen extraterrestrial beings. While many people have tried to depict what aliens might look like, it's still unclear what they do look like. In most cases where people encounter aliens, they tend to capture footage from a distance to avoid dangerous situations. For example, in this particular footage, someone saw an alien-looking creature crouched down at the mouth of a cave in the middle of the night. The creature had a large head and a pair of black, huge eyes that seemed to be staring into the darkness. It appeared to be unaware of its surroundings, which suggests that it might be in a state of hibernation or deep meditation. While I'm not trying to discredit these encounters, it's puzzling why people don't try to get closer and make contact with the entities they spot. Perhaps it's because they're afraid of the unknown, or maybe they simply don't know how to communicate with them. Whatever the reason may be, it's clear that these encounters raise more questions than they answer. What do you think of this?
Humans have always demonstrated a remarkable ability to adapt to their surroundings, and camouflage has played a crucial role in various contexts, especially in military scenarios. In this intriguing footage, we witness the art of human camouflage in action. The clip showcases the utilization of a concealed compartment beneath the ground, allowing the individual to appear and disappear with remarkable speed. In the next clip, you can see some trees on a hill, and from the trees, a man walks out covered in leaves. From his dress, he's likely a soldier engaged in training or on the battlefield. You'd never have guessed that he was even there. The video captures the fascinating ways in which humans harness their creativity to overcome challenges. The idyllic setting of a sunny beach took an unexpected turn as a beachgoer stumbled upon the perplexing sight of a mysterious creature's carcass. However, the remains were severely crushed, rendering the identification of the creature a challenging puzzle. In the absence of clear features, speculation runs wild. The possibility of it being the remains of a dog that met an unfortunate fate at sea emerged as a plausible explanation. As we sift through the sands of speculation, the identity of our beachside enigma remains shrouded in the mysteries of the sea. What do you think of the whole thing? As always, please do share your thoughts with us.
Our next clip was captured by a home surveillance camera, and it's quite intriguing. In the video, a strange object can be seen flying over the backyard. The object appears to be dark in color with an unusual shape. However, what makes it even more peculiar is the glowing ring around its edges. It's difficult to determine what the object could be. On one hand, it could be a computer-generated image or a hoax created by someone. On the other hand, it could very well be a genuine, unidentified flying object that defies explanation. The video raises a lot of questions and leaves us wondering what the possibilities of otherworldly phenomena could be. In the video footage, an unidentified man can be seen performing an extraordinary feat of strength. The man, who appears to be a driver of a truck, encounters an obstacle on his path in the form of another parked truck. Not one to be deterred, the man gets out of his truck and approaches the parked vehicle. Unfazed by the weight of the truck, he positions himself at the back of the parked truck and proceeds to lift it off the ground with apparent ease. Once he's raised the vehicle to a sufficient height, he expertly maneuvers it into a spot that clears the way for his truck to pass through. It's an incredible display of physical prowess, and one can't help but wonder if the man possesses some kind of superhuman strength or if the footage is even real at all. If it is, this is certainly a feat that would be beyond the capabilities of an average person.
In this clip, we're introduced to a massive wolf with dark fur and distinct white patterns. The whispers of folklore echo in our minds as we lay eyes on this colossal wolf. Some say it bears a resemblance to the legendary Wahila, or as some love to call it, the saber wolf. Legends have often described the Wahila as a creature larger and more aggressive than your typical wolf. I know, scary, right? Looking at this creature's size, demeanor, and characteristics, I believe that they align with the descriptions in these myths. Yet, amidst the awe and wonder, there are some in the paranormal community who question its authenticity. I, for one, am not one because I believe I've set my eyes on the saber wolf. What about you? You might be wondering what we have here. Allow me to introduce you, my friends, to Madame Waterbug. Despite their small stature, waterbugs are expert swimmers. Their legs are adapted for paddling, allowing them to navigate through the water with surprising agility. Some species can even capture air and carry it with them, essentially creating their makeshift scuba gear, enabling them to stay submerged for extended periods. Waterbugs are skilled hunters. Their specialized front legs are designed to seize and hold onto their prey. Once captured, they use their piercing mouthparts to inject enzymes that break down the insides of their unfortunate victims, turning them into a ready-to-consume soup. So while they may be small, these waterbugs are a testament to the fact that danger comes in all sizes, and whatever you do, don't ever try to pick one up.
Recently, I came across a video that has left me intrigued. The video shows what appears to be an underground fungus growth in Milan. The footage includes images of dead rats that have growths on them, which is quite alarming. However, some people have pointed out that the images may have been generated using computer graphics, which casts doubt on the authenticity of the video. Despite the conflicting opinions, this video has sparked a lot of discussions, with people trying to determine the veracity of the claims being made. Some believe that the fungus is real and represents a major health hazard, while others think that it's nothing more than a hoax. What do you think about this video? Do you believe that there is real fungal growth in Milan, or do you think that it's all just a computer-generated hoax? While walking through the forest, an individual came across a set of skeletal remains that immediately caught their attention. Upon closer examination, they noticed the remains were not like anything they'd ever seen before. The bones were of a strange shape and size and did not resemble those of any known human or animal species. Intrigued by this discovery, the person carefully studied the bones, taking note of every detail. They noticed that the bones were missing certain features that would be present in a typical animal-human skeleton. This absence only adds to the mystery of the remains and leaves you wondering what they could be. As they pondered the possible origins of the bones, their thoughts turned to the idea that perhaps they were of extraterrestrial origin. However, this idea seemed far-fetched, and they began to consider other possibilities. Could these remains be evidence of a new undiscovered species, or could they be the remains of something more sinister?
When it comes to dolls, I have a bittersweet feeling about them. They are fun to have, but when I remember Annabelle and Chucky, I'm not so sure if we're safe to have them around. Here we have a man who was on a treasure hunt in the woods when his metal detector picked up something in the ground close to a tree. The curious man went ahead to dig this thing out, but what he saw was rather puzzling. It was a doll's head with strange red markings on its face that made it look like something that was used for a ritual. Despite the eerie atmosphere, this man had no issues tampering with it. As he was inspecting the doll's head, he noticed an opening in the neck that led him to a treasure of coins. I guess he did find treasure after all. Something doesn't, however, sit right with me about a doll's with a head stuffed with coins. Am I just being paranoid, or is he being too reckless? Share your thoughts in the comments section. The age-old conspiracy surrounding the presence of extraterrestrial beings among us takes on a new dimension with the chilling footage captured by a vigilant observer.
Hey! Oh shit! Oh shit! Look at that! Oh, look at that! They stop!
The sequence begins with the appearance of a colossal orb in the sky descending. As the orb gets closer, it splits into several other orbs that move into a formation. From the audio of the footage, you can tell that the spectators and even the man filming this were all freaked out. And who can blame them? The cosmic waltz happening above transcends the realm of earthly explanation. But what do you think? Is this really happening, or is someone just messing with us? Share your thoughts.
Do you believe the concept of a mobile phone was laughable years ago? And no, I'm not kidding. Take a look at this newspaper that was published as far back as the 18th of April 1963. Speaking of dates, comment on the date you're watching the video. We'd want to see how many of you were actually watching this on the 18th of April. We'll capture all of the 18th of April comments and post them with our videos after the 18th of April. Back to what we're discussing, the idea was laughed at and called unreal. Today, not only can we make calls through mobile devices, but they're essentially smarter than NASA's computers back in the day. Talk about a mix of prophecy and scientific innovation. Can't wait to see what their future holds. Late one night, a group of men were camping in the mountains of Turkey when they noticed something strange up on a nearby hill. As they peered into the darkness, they saw a creature with glowing eyes. Even though the surrounding area was shrouded in darkness, they could make out that it had a pair of horns on its head. The creature appeared to be stalking them, and they couldn't shake off the feeling of unease that crept over them. It's difficult to say what kind of creature this could be. Some people have suggested that it might be the legendary Goat Man. Others speculate that it could be a completely different kind of creature altogether. What do you see? Enjoying the episode? Kindly hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already, so we can keep bringing you more clips like this. Done? Well, let's continue with the day's episode.
What the fuck is this?
In the hushed stillness of Appalachia, a man ventured out from the shelter of his house, drawn by a mysterious cacophony that had infiltrated the tranquil night. The ambient sounds, initially indistinct, metamorphized into an unsettling symphony of screeching and the haunting bleating of a goat.
Fuck this.
The disconcerting nature of the sounds sparked a chilling question in the man's mind. Was this an encounter with a mythical being? A skinwalker, perhaps, shrouded in the legends of the region? The elusive skinwalker said to possess the ability to assume various forms, embodying the eerie tales passed down through generations. Alternatively, a mere human element infused the night with a palpable sense of concern. Could the distressing sounds be the desperate cries of a person in trouble, echoing through the Appalachian landscape? The man, not knowing what it could be, ran back inside for safety. What would you have done in this situation? While at a camping site driveway with her daughter, a woman saw what she thought was a human on the top of a mountain. She pointed it out to her daughter, but she didn't see it, so she decided to take a short video. Back home, as they reviewed the footage, a shock wave of disbelief washed over them. There, standing tall on the mountain's peak, was none other than Bigfoot, a creature of legend believed by some, doubted by many, now caught on camera. Zooming in for a closer look, they were able to discern the creature's colossal size, distinct strides, and telltale hints of fur which left no room for doubt. Shocked at their discovery, they decided to share it with the world. What do you make of it?
In the video that follows, an unidentified individual recorded a fascinating occurrence in the night sky. The footage shows a glowing entity moving behind the clouds. The person who took the footage claims it to be an angel, but there are different opinions about what it might be. Some believe it could be a UFO, while others suggest that it could be an optical illusion caused by the clouds. The object's movement is smooth and steady, and it appears to be moving in a straight line. Some think it's a spotlight, others think we may have an alien invasion on our hands. If anything at all, this video is an intriguing reminder that there are still many mysteries in the world that we have yet to fully understand. Our final clip was recorded in China in March, when the weather conditions were extreme and everything appeared to be covered in ice, creating a scene reminiscent of the Ice Age. The video depicts a deserted landscape where the trees, houses, and roads are all heavily covered in thick layers of ice, giving the impression that time has stood still. The harsh weather conditions have made it difficult for the locals where the clip was recorded to go about their daily lives, leaving the streets eerily empty and lifeless. Despite the beauty of the icy landscape, it's a reminder of the challenges of living in such extreme weather conditions.
The tranquil woods can often be a haven of serenity. For the individual who sent this footage in, that tranquility took an eerie turn when he stumbled upon an unsettling sight. There you can see what looks like a little girl wearing a blue dress with pigtails running. A child running alone in the woods should be the least of your problems in this situation. As you look closer, there seems to be something off. The way she's running is inhuman, as if she is hopping. Slowing down and turning her head, the entity revealed a visage that defied the norms of humanity. The semblance of a child faded, replaced by an uncanny transformation reminiscent of an animal donning the guise of a young girl. Could that have been a shapeshifter? Share your thoughts. In this footage, a group of men stumbled upon a perplexing sight, a strange creature on a rock. It exhibited characteristics reminiscent of black goo and displayed autonomous movement. In their attempt to unravel the mystery, the men resorted to using a knife, hoping to gain insight into the nature of this peculiar substance. However, the material proved resilient, reattaching itself after being cut. The baffling behavior raises questions about the origin and composition of the substance. I mean, there's no substance on Earth that looks like or behaves like that, unless, of course, the symbiote from Spider-Man found its way into our dimension.
An individual stumbled upon an extraordinary stone that caught their attention due to its unusual appearance. Upon closer inspection, they noticed that the stone was emitting a fiery glow through the cracks on its surface. This fascinating stone is known as a euperlite, which is a type of volcanic rock found in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Euperlites are unique because they contain fluorescent sodalite minerals that make them glow under ultraviolet light. This discovery has sparked interest among geologists, rock collectors, and enthusiasts who were fascinated by this remarkable stone. A group of close-knit friends were enjoying a leisurely walk on a path through a dense forest, surrounded by towering trees and the gentle rustling of leaves. As they chatted and laughed, they suddenly noticed something moving ahead of them. At first, they thought it might be an animal, but as the creature came into view, they were filled with intense fear and shock. What they saw was a pale humanoid creature crawling backwards on all fours. Its movements were jerky and unnatural, and its eyes glinted with an eerie intensity. The friends were frozen with terror, unable to move or speak for several moments. When they finally regained their senses, they sprinted away from the creature as fast as they could, their hearts pounding with fear. Now, the question on everyone's mind is, what kind of creature was it? Some have suggested that it could be a mythical creature known as a rake, while others believe it could be something else entirely. Regardless, the incident has left the friends shaken and wary of venturing into the forest again. What do you think? Our next clip is footage taken from two guys in a car who were driving through a forest fire. As our daring duo navigates through the forest, flames dance menacingly on both sides, casting an apocalyptic glow on their surroundings. The heat intensifies within the confines of their vehicle, and the reality of being caught in the heart of a wildfire sets in. The tension in the car is palpable as one of the occupants expresses concern about the escalating temperatures.
Dog, we can't get out. I'm getting out. You can't drive back.
The inferno seems unyielding, and the prospect of escaping its clutches becomes increasingly daunting. In the face of such adversity, the men find themselves at a critical crossroads: to stay inside the relative safety of their vehicle or to brave the scorching surroundings outside. At the end of the footage, we're left in suspense. Did they emerge unscathed from this fiery ordeal, or did the relentless flames claim their victory? Do you believe demons exist? No? Then how do you explain this? The screams you hear are from the devices of an explorer that crashed into a water body. He'd gone out to explore the great outdoors and document the adventures when he suddenly lost control of his drone and it crashed into the waters. Try as he may, he couldn't get it out and gave up. Upon returning home, he checked the last recorded footage on the cloud, and surely enough, it was the last moments of his devices. He doesn't believe what he heard were the sounds of his devices. No, they sounded hellish and demonic to him. He then uploaded it online, and some sided with him, saying that they'd experienced the same thing before. The majority, however, told him the sounds, although sounding like screams, are definitely coming from his drone being in the water. When you think about it, that sounds very logical, but maybe, just maybe, that's what the demons want us to think. What are your thoughts, though? For some time now, a ranch owner has been hearing strange noises on his property, which left him feeling unsettled. As a result, he decided to investigate and set up a camera to capture any activity that might be causing the noises. He initially thought it could be coyotes, but what he found on reviewing the footage was quite unexpected. To his surprise, the footage showed a strange-looking creature that seemed emaciated, with a very thin neck. The creature was peering inside the room through the window, and its appearance was quite unsettling. Naturally, he was perplexed and posted the footage on our paranormal platform. Some thought it had to be aliens, while many thought it was nothing more than an attempt for 5 or 10 minutes of fame. Critically look at the clip again and share what you think. Still on the supernatural, watch this next footage.
Starting to regret that I stopped at this rest stop. And they say big.
Did you hear that? Do you hear those vocalizations? I mean, let's be honest, those vocalizations don't sound like any predator we're familiar with, right? It sounds nothing like a wolf, bear, or even mountain lion. What then could it be? No one truly knows. The recorder of the footage, however, can be heard in the background, stating he can't believe people refuse to believe in Bigfoot after all this. The reason for his statement is simple. Beyond the general consensus among many logical minds that Bigfoot does not exist, many individuals who live near the woods the video was recorded in state that they don't believe in the cryptid despite the numerous sightings of the creature. The strange vocalizations might also have been going on for a long time, and no one has ever been able to get to the bottom of it. So what do you think? Do you believe that we're dealing with a Bigfoot, or do you think there's a more logical explanation to the whole thing? Tell us in the comment section. Would the government cover up the existence of cryptids? Well, this next Trailcam footage seems to suggest so. The footage reveals a dog-like creature sprinting through the woods, captured on what appears to be a body cam attached to an individual in pursuit. The story behind this footage is that it was recorded on a government operation to find and suppress a dog-man creature in an undisclosed location. However, after unknown individuals or hackers leaked the footage to the public, they seemingly vanished without a trace. The footage looks weird because it's stabilized footage from a clip that's less than 5 seconds long. You are literally watching it frame by frame. It's hard to ignore how awkward and wacky it looks. Do you think this is the real deal, or is this a well-planned and clever hoax? Tell us in the comments section. In a mysterious turn of events, a security camera recorded the eerie presence of two entities floating on the street. These spectral figures with a ghostly, smoky appearance move in a way you would only expect otherworldly beings to move in. Once I saw the footage, especially in the quality in which it came, I wanted to believe this was nothing more than a fake. That was at least until these local dogs in the neighborhood showed up. Their reaction to the floating object made me believe it could actually be real. But if it's real, what were those things? Why were they there? And how were they able to move like that? What would you do if you found a bear right outside your tent? You know what? Hold that thought. Watch this. What was meant to be a peaceful camping retreat turned into a wild encounter with nature gone wrong. A man seeking to enjoy his time in the great outdoors set up camp in a serene spot. The night passed without incident, but the next morning came with an unexpected twist. As he unzips his tent, expecting the usual sight of trees and sunlight, he's met with a furrier neighbor than anticipated, a bear standing just inches away. In a split second, he retreats into the safety of his tent, zipping it up tight. It seems, however, that the furry intruder wasn't ready to end the conversation. The bear starts growling and scratching at the tent, evidently curious about the new camper in the neighborhood. Faced with the bear trying to turn his tent into an impromptu bear cave, the camper resorts to a bold move, yelling. Miraculously, the tactic works, and the bear, perhaps startled by the unexpected noise, decides to abandon the chat. Luck was certainly on the hiker's side that day. Lesson learned. Sometimes surviving a camping trip means not just communing with nature, but also convincing it to keep a respectful distance. You know, it's not exactly news that creatures roam our world, with some of them lurking in our woodlands, but I've got to admit, the beings that show up on trail cams make me question everything. Were we fed lies about Earth, or are monsters from our wildest movies stepping into reality? And now for this last piece of footage, a creature caught on a trail cam's lens. Just have a look, a towering figure striding across the camera's field of view. And get this, those legs, they're impossibly elongated and slender. This creature is one riddle we're trying to crack, but there is more. The creature, enigmatic and otherworldly, challenges our understanding of anatomy. Limbs of traditional shape and purpose are conspicuously absent, replaced by a singular neck that arcs like a question mark, crowned with a head that defies convention. Although its lifelike semblance is striking, my team and I can't shake the suspicion that this might just be an elaborate hoax. But what do you think? This image was taken by a woman who went touring with her son at the Jenny Wade household. As her son was peeking through a bullet hole that was left on the door, she decided to take a picture of the house, and there, on the footage, she spotted this strange, ghost-like entity standing between the camera and her son. The surprised woman decided to share this footage online. The concept of life after death is intricate, and the belief in spirits lingering among the living is a universal thread woven through diverse cultures and religions. The entity captured in this image could be anything, yet a prevailing notion suggests it might be the ghost of Jenny Wade herself. Tracing back to the 1900s during the American Civil War, this house carries a haunting tale. Jenny was peacefully kneading dough in her kitchen when a bullet pierced through her kitchen door and walls, tragically ending her life. Since that fateful day, the house has stood as a silent witness, inviting visitors to gaze upon the haunting bullet holes etched into its walls. Legends perpetuate the idea that departed spirits often linger where their earthly journey met a tragic halt. It's not beyond imagination to speculate that the faint enigmatic figure captured in the footage is none other than Jenny's restless spirit. A lingering reminder of the past, bridging the chasm between then and now. Or am I just exaggerating over an edited photo? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Did you know that there was drone technology that allowed the operators to form images and QR codes in the sky? What if I told you that nature did this first? Confused? Watch this footage. In the footage, we see a group of starlings, or if you want to get technical, a murmuration shape-shifting into various forms. The birds are no strangers to such behavior, but on this particular day, the photographer noticed an unusual level of activity. Intrigued, he focused his attention and readied his camera. And within mere minutes, his preparedness met a golden opportunity, allowing him to capture the extraordinary scene you're witnessing on your screen. And yes, that's a giant bird made up of hundreds, if not thousands, of smaller birds. All who saw this were left in awe, and it didn't just happen once, but twice in the same night, and hasn't happened again ever since then. There are some who believe it's natural and perhaps a mere coincidence, but the paranormal community thinks otherwise. They believe that there could be something more at play, yet can't seem to place their fingers on it. What do you think, though? Before you conclude you are seeing things, allow me to assure you that you are not. Behold, right in front of you lies the Minnesota Iceman, a seemingly lifeless Bigfoot. Sure, it exhibits ape-like fur and body, but its proportions and muscular build are strangely reminiscent of a well-built man. You don't need to be a scientist to know that this 7-foot creature walked on 2 feet. But how did it die, and how was the body found? This is a story that no one has been able to figure out. This creature was initially promoted and sent around the world by a man known as Frank Hansen. He claimed that he found the frozen corpse in a region of Siberia. Once authorities started descending on him, however, the story changed multiple times until it was finally declared a hoax. This revelation came after the original body he presented disappeared from public view for months. Hansen then resurfaced with another corpse, claiming it was a more recent capture. However, investigators soon discovered that it was nothing more than a latex and rubber model, skillfully crafted in the West. It even went on sale on eBay in 2013. So, what happened to the first model? Was it really a fake as well? Or did Hansen pull it from public view because of threats or fears of it being stolen or taken from him? Well, the truth remains a mystery, but some in the paranormal community speculate that Hansen might have killed and illegally imported a rock ape during his time in the Vietnam War. For those who don't know, the rock ape is a Vietnamese cousin of the Bigfoot. What do you think, though? Hoax or true? Tell us in the comments section. In various documentaries, we often witness a diverse array of animals scaling trees for their afternoon siestas or a quick lunch. And guess what? This video clip from Marrakesh, Morocco is no different. But hold on, this one's got something truly remarkable. Take a look. In this footage, numerous goats are observed approaching a specific tree known to bear argon peppers resembling olives crushed by the side of a muddy road. If someone had told me that goats would one day engage in the intriguing and elegant art of tree climbing, I would have required significant persuasion. But look at this, these goats are scaling the argon tree like they're born mountaineers. They reach the tippy top where the argon peppers hang, and they feast away while balancing on the tree's sturdy branches. As a result, they've earned the moniker Tree Goats of Morocco. Here's the twist. Why on earth do these goats have a thing for the argon tree? Are they just after the argon peppers, or is there something more enticing about this tree? Is it only for the argon peppers it produces? What other speciality attracts these goats to the argon tree? My dear Moroccans, what do you all have to share on this? For our next footage, we travel all the way to Oregon. Imagine being deep in the woods, camping alone, and then you hear knocks and thumps on your vehicle. How would you react? Now, stop imagining and watch this footage because that's exactly what's happening here.
Maybe in the back of my truck right now. I don't even know what time it is. And there's someone walking around my truck right now. If you can hear that, it's pretty loud. I don't really know what to do. I'm a little freaked out right now. And it's like pitch black outside. Probably like 2 in the morning. And he just keeps walking around.
Meet Noah, the guy in this video. He's out camping in his truck all alone deep within the remote Oregon woods. He expected to be by himself for the night until he started hearing someone knocking on his truck around 2 a.m. in the morning.
Really touching my truck. How am I supposed to get him away? He's literally knocking. He's literally knocking on my truck. I don't think he knows there's anyone in here. He keeps walking around. I don't get it. Let's see if he goes away eventually.
The knocks grow louder and more insistent as if someone urgently tries to break in. Noah's breath quickens, worry etched on his face. He glances at his phone. It's 2:30. With a quick decision, he flicks on his flashlight hoping to scare off the intruder. And just like that, the knocks cease. As dawn breaks, he speeds away back to civilization. It's only then that he notices strange marks on his car, marks that weren't there before. He's convinced it was just a random person trying to break in. But think about it, he was in the middle of nowhere. Could it have been a Bigfoot, or was it someone also out camping and worried? If that's the case, why did they run when the flashlights came on? I mean, there are pieces missing from this puzzle. Could he be pulling a stunt for a taste of fame? Who's to say? We might never find out. Here's the bottom line. Don't camp solo. Noah got lucky, but you might not be as fortunate. What do you think about the whole thing, though? Tell us in the comments section. Speaking of supernatural, this next footage is one for the books. At first glance, the footage you were seeing on your screen looks just like any other trail cam footage. A couple of deer grazing and carefully looking around to make sure they are safe. When the owner of the trail cam reviewed it, he saw the same. After a closer inspection of the video, however, it came to light that there were more characters in the footage than initially thought. Watch the footage again and pay attention. Do you see the face there in the brightened image? At some point in the footage, you see the deer look in that same direction as though they knew the creature was there. Could it be that the Bigfoot noticed the camera and refused to come out and get noticed? Let us know what you think. Next, imagine you are on a romantic date with your spouse in the woods when an unknown creature which doubles as a giant suddenly moves in the bushes ahead of you. How would you respond? Now stop imagining and watch the video. Did you see it? You saw the giant move in the bushes, didn't you? This footage was recorded by a couple whose romantic night out was suddenly interrupted by a disturbance in the bushes, only for them to see what you saw on screen. Now, let's examine the creature's appearance. It's covered in hair, walks upright like a human, and possesses a body reminiscent of an ape. What creature comes to mind from this description? Yes, you're right, a Bigfoot. No one likes a third wheel whilst on a romantic date, but no one expects that third wheel to be a ginormous creature. Everyone seems to believe that the giant was Bigfoot. What do you think? This creature was spotted on a trail cam and its owner was not sure of what he was looking at. Naturally, he decided to share it with the public to figure out what the creature could be. And in the frame, there it is, an emaciated figure somewhat resembling a dog emerges from the depths of the woods. Its eyes are locked onto the trail camera. Notice those perked ears atop its head and a snout that's oddly dog-like. But hold on, the long limbs give this creature away. This isn't just another stray dog, there's something more, something maybe even sinister lurking here. I can't help but wonder, could this be the legendary Dogman, the mysterious creature born of myth and folklore? While it's hard to give a definitive answer, we'd definitely love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Can trees move? If your answer was no, then watch this footage, which will surely shock you. Yes, that's an actual tree moving. If you're familiar with the movie The Matrix, you might notice a resemblance to the movements of the Sentinels. But the question remains, do trees truly move like this? Or do trees even have the ability to move at all? The answer is, while a few tree species exhibit a slow form of locomotion over an extended period, no tree is naturally meant to move in such a manner. This begs one question though, what's happening here? The truth is we don't have a definitive answer, but if I were to venture a guess, I'd lean towards this being the result of CGI. I mean, I wouldn't want them to exist, and there's no logical way to explain it. Can you imagine what trees would do to us if they could move like that after the deforestation and destruction we've brought up on the planet? I don't know about you, but there's no way I'm believing this is real. How about you? Next is footage I would want you to see before I pass any comments. Watch the clip. Did you notice anything out of place? Have a look again. Did you catch it? Well, in case you missed it, a few seconds into the clip, there's something peculiar moving in the shadows just beyond the reach of the headlights. It's almost as though it's moving quickly so that it's not seen by those in the vehicle. Although it manages to get away, the dashboard cam of the vehicle records it. Upon closer examination of the footage, it becomes evident that the creature is covered in fur and exhibits an uncanny ability to walk upright. Apes can do that, but the footage was recorded in a region where there are no apes. This can only mean one thing: we are dealing with a cryptid. There's only one that fits the bill: Bigfoot. The uploaders were convinced they were dealing with a Bigfoot, and we are as well, but what do you think? Tell us in the comments section. Speaking of rare occurrences, take a look at this image. In it, we see a buck carrying a pig pierced on its antlers in the midst of a wide field. Upon closer inspection, you'll notice that the object impaled on its antlers resembles a pig, adding to the mystery. Take a closer look and you'll be astonished to see that it indeed resembles a pig. A buck and a pig? How? I mean, why? Could it have been provoked, or is it something it does for sport? Is it even possible? Is there a logical explanation for it? Sure, a buck could cause serious damage to a pig with its antlers, but how to raise the whole pig? I doubt that's even possible, or could there be something we're missing here? Tell us what you think in the comments section. Have you ever watched a movie and seen people using disguises to break into places? What happens when the disguise isn't human but canine? Confused? Allow me to explain. This footage looks like a cute dog trying to get into his home, right? Would you believe me if I told you that the owner who recorded the footage stated that the dog was already inside the house? So if the dog is already in the house, how could there be another that looks exactly like it trying to break into the house? That's a question we'll never truly know the answer to because the owner never opened the door. He went in and confirmed that his dog was truly indoors. Once the footage was uploaded online, all who saw it believed it was a skinwalker. Given the evidence we're presented with, I'm tempted to believe that hypothesis. A skinwalker could have been trying to lure the owner out using his dog and then unalive him, or worse. What do you think? Before you watch the next clip, could you please hit the like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment if you haven't already? It goes a long way to make it possible to create more videos for you. Thank you for doing so. Moving back to the day's episode. Take a look at this startling footage, a large greenish orb descending from the sky and landing on Earth. It's a sight that is both mesmerizing and alarming. Could this be a comet or some other celestial object? Some viewers are convinced that what we are seeing is a comet, a natural phenomenon where a chunk of ice and rock from outer space enters Earth's atmosphere, burning brightly as it descends. The greenish hue might suggest the presence of certain elements like copper or nickel, which can burn green when heated. However, skeptics think otherwise. Many people believe this footage is digitally altered. One key piece of evidence is the lack of reflection of the orb's light on the water below. If the orb was real and as bright as it appears, we would expect to see its light reflected in the surrounding environment, especially on the water's surface. What do you think? And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.